the Interstellar Mecha cook. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story in all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 51, Celebrating Recovery. While Lin Miaomiao was preparing lunch, the twins didn't ask Lolly to pick them up, and instead returned with Lin Jingtao, who had shamelessly moved in. Jingtao, why are you here too? Lin Yuquan, still unaware of the situation, was a little surprised. Uncle Quan, Lin Jingtao called out, answering honestly, I'm tired of the cafeteria food. I heard Miaomiao cooks her own food, so I decided to come here for a free meal. As for who told him, it was the twins. Lin Yuquan nodded. This girl's cooking is really good, but it's a pity I can't tell the difference. Uncle Quan, can't your taste buds be cured? Lin Jingtao asked with concern. Probably not, Lin Yuquan said, unconcerned. In fact, this was for the better, as it would prevent him from getting used to nutritional supplements on the battlefield. After all, although the nutritional supplements claimed to come in over 100 flavors, every one of them tasted terrible. Despite the truce in recent years between the Federation and the Empire, they weren't always engaged in subtle plots behind the scenes. Once you joined the army, you had to be prepared for battle. In the living room, four grown men were chatting casually, while the cook Lin Miaomiao was sending a video message to Yi Hongwen. What's the matter? Yi Hongwen was still in the office at this time. Lin Miaomiao did not answer but asked, are you still busy in the office, just helping to organize some things? Yi Hongwen paused, and added, it's not urgent, just tell me if you have something to say. He actually said he was not busy. Jin Hao, who was sitting on the side, almost overturned the table. Who is it that said he was busy just now, and had to beg him to stay and help? That's good, Lin Miaomiao said without any doubt, we're having hot pot for lunch today. It's not easy to send express. Do you want to come over to eat? Yi Hongwen was still considering, and Jin Hao, who was eavesdropping, could not help but come over. Hot pot? What the hell is that? Is it delicious? Lin Miaomiao was slightly startled. Where did this guy come from? In the school office, he should be a teacher. After thinking for a moment, Lin Miaomiao answered carefully, it depends on personal preference. I really like to eat. Jin Hao's eyes lit up. Then take me with you, Lin. Is that okay? Of course, but, Lin Miaomiao hesitated. Who are you? Hot pot is lively when there are more people, so Lin Miaomiao would not object to Yi Hongwen bringing another person. But since they don't even know each other, wouldn't it be a bit awkward to get along with them? You don't even know me. Jin Hao's eyes widened in shock. He thought he was already famous enough in school. Is it strange that I don't know you? Lin Miaomiao looked at him expressionlessly. Or is it that the school stipulates that I must know you? She was really curious about this question. Jin Hao blushed at this. Of course there's no such rule. You're just trying to show off that you're clearly suited to being a mecha operator, but you're choosing to be a Star Wars commander, something you're not good at. Yi Hongwen snorted. Alright, I'll bring this guy to your house later. Lin Miaomiao curled her lips in boredom, no longer dwelling on the question. Then hurry up, everyone. Get everything ready for dinner. After the announcement, Lin Miaomiao began preparing the ingredients. Today's hot pot was based on pork rib soup, and the broth was already simmering. The vegetables were almost finished. Lin Miaomiao had prepared a large amount of exotic beast meat today. She didn't use much domestic pork or beef, as exotic beast meat was cheaper. She only had 1 or 2 vegetables, since everyone preferred meat. Then there were the must-have dumplings. All in all, there were over 20 dishes, and the portions were generous. Just as he was about to declare the hot pot done, he suddenly remembered the only flaw from his last hot pot dinner, the lack of beer or other soft drinks. Beer was now a thing of the past in the interstellar era. Lin Miaomiao thought for a moment and prepared some wine. It was alcohol, anyway, so it should be fine with hot pot. Not long after, Yi Hongwen arrived with his helper, Jin Hao, and the young woman began loading the table. Aside from Yi Hongwen, the others were all country bumpkins who had never tried hot pot before, so Lin Miaomiao began to explain. The twins were eager to try it. Just throw the raw vegetables directly into the pot and cook them, And you're good to go, Lin Miaomiao nodded. You can eat it once it's cooked. If it's too bland, just add some seasoning to the bowl. Yi Hongwen, who had already tried it, had already poured his favorite meat into the pot and added some spicy seasoning to his bowl. He then quietly waited for the meat to cook. Old Yi, you're quite skilled at this. Have you ever tried it? Jin Hao was surprised. This way of eating is simply unheard of in the interstellar space, but Yi Hongwen seems to be quite skilled at it, which makes Jin Hao a little dissatisfied, because he is obviously a famous foodie. Yi Hongwen glanced at Jin Hao lightly, and was not prepared to answer. The meat was cooked, who would bother to pay attention to him? You actually ignored me, Jin Hao was angry. He originally wanted to be reserved, but now forget it, so he started to grab the meat in the pot, even if it was not put there by him. Lin Miaomiao thought he was well prepared, and 20 or 30 pounds of meat was enough for everyone to eat, but he did not expect that the potential of foodies is endless. The prepared meat was snatched away in a short while, and the twins were still shouting that it was not enough. Fortunately, Lolly was very fast at cutting vegetables, and there were still hundreds of pounds of meat in the refrigerator. Lin Miaomiao asked Lolly to cut another 10 pounds. This time, he did not waste time cutting into slices, and directly cut them into finger-thick slices and served them on the table. By the end of the meal, the meat had been devoured, and there were very few vegetables left. Remarkably, Lin Miaomiao ate all the vegetables, the others barely touched them. Even Yi Hongwen only took a few with his chopsticks. Eating vegetables is good for your health, it replenishes your vitamins, Lin Miaomiao said with a sullen expression, trying to persuade everyone to eat, but was ruthlessly rebuked. It's not easy to replenish vitamins, taking nutritional supplements is enough, Lin Yuquan said, and the others nodded in agreement. Her uncle's words made sense, and Lin Miaomiao couldn't persuade him any further. Hot pot is a great way to connect, especially when toasting while enjoying it. So, by the time everyone had eaten their fill, Jin Hao, who had been unfamiliar with him, had already joined in the casual conversation. I used to think Teacher Lin was a bit silly, but today I realize I was wrong, Jin Hao explained, pulling Lin Jingtao aside. It's okay. People who don't know me always misunderstand me, Lin Jingtao said magnanimously. Actually, I think Teacher Jin is pretty eccentric, too. How am I eccentric? Jin Hao scoffed. Wrong, Lin Jingtao corrected loudly. You should ask what's not weird about you, Jin Hao readily agreed. Okay, what's not weird about me? Lin Jingtao tilted his head and thought for a moment. I really don't know. Xianshan, Nian, come and help me figure it out. I can't believe it, the twins shouted. Teacher Jin is the weirdest, you two shut up. Don't you know how to say respect your teacher? Lin Yuquan scowled. Lin Miaomiao was a little amused. How could these people act drunk after just one glass of wine? Chapter 52 Princess Hug. Lin Miaomiao truly regretted not bringing any alcohol. She hadn't anticipated these grown men's poor alcohol tolerance, knocking back even a single glass of mild wine. What should I do? Lin Miaomiao complained, a little annoyed, as they smeared each other. They all have such low alcohol tolerance, mechanists can't drink. It's normal to have a low alcohol tolerance, Yi Hongwen, who had been sitting quietly, suddenly said. It's common sense, Lin Miaomiao was startled. She had actually learned this common sense, but she hadn't fully adapted to this era or become a qualified mechanized pilot, so she'd subconsciously forgotten it. I rested too long and accidentally forgot, Lin Miaomiao said calmly. You didn't remind me. Not only did they not remind me, but they all picked up their glasses and drank. So, she couldn't blame her entirely, Lin Miaomiao silently defended herself. Indeed, Yi Hongwen didn't deny. It's just that you said hot pot is more enjoyable with wine, so everyone wanted to try it. The result was that everyone, who had never drunk before, got drunk together. Fortunately, no one hit anyone when they got drunk, Lin Miaomiao silently complained. Over on the other end, Lin Jingtao was still blasting Jin Hao. Teacher Jin, it's fine you're a former top mecha department graduate, but why did you choose to teach Star Wars Command? Aren't you stealing someone else's job? Can you blame me? Jin Hao said, defending himself. I didn't want to teach Star Wars Command either. It was that old bald guy who said the mecha department was full of instructors, and the only thing missing was a Star Wars Command teacher. He was sure I didn't want to join the army. Lin Miaomiao was furious. A mecha department graduate teaching Star Wars Command? The students he taught must be good, right? With such an outlandish story, it's no wonder Jin Hao felt everyone in school knew him. He actually got into the Star Wars Command Department when he was in college. He was at the top of his class, and the teacher said he was a natural commander, Yi Hongwen explained. Is that so? Lin Miaomiao suddenly realized. Then how did he end up in the Mecha Department? Could it be that the Star Wars Command students, jealous and envious of his brilliance, had ostracized him? Lin Miaomiao felt that she had guessed the truth and could not help but shed tears of sympathy for Jin Hao. However, the fact that Yi Hongwen said next was so speechless. It turned out that Jin Hao's study was not just excellent. He had already taught himself all the courses for his senior year and his sophomore year, and then began to practice driving mechas hard. As we all know, an excellent mecha pilot may not necessarily know how to command Star Wars, but an excellent Star Wars commander's skills in driving mechas must not be bad. Jin Hao's skill in driving mechas was very good. Relying on this, he often went to challenge outstanding students in the mecha department. After winning many times, he said with some complacency that the outstanding students in the mecha department were just like this, and then someone couldn't stand it anymore. The head of the mecha department, who was in the same grade as Jin Hao, made a bet. The two would fight, and the loser would transfer to the other's major. At the time, Jin Hao was so smug that he didn't take the bet seriously, convinced he'd win. But reality dealt him a slap in the face. He lost, badly. The outcome was decided in a single move, and Jin Hao kept his promise and transferred to another department. Lin Miaomiao wasn't impressed by such melodramatic stories. She just wanted to know, what's the name of the chief who defeated him? Yi Hongwen was silent for a moment before answering. Yi Hongwen, Lin Miaomiao was also drunk. So, did the participants in this bet become good friends? After hearing the story, Lin Miaomiao began to worry again. After their nonsense, the drunks collapsed on the sofa, 5 of them crammed together. Lin Miaomiao cleared her throat. I think we should find a way to accommodate them first. As a delicate girl, Lin Miaomiao hadn't considered personally carrying the drunks upstairs to rest. Have Lolly take them back to their rooms, Yi Hongwen said. Let Jin Hao lie down on the sofa for a while. Lin Miaomiao was frustrated. How could she have forgotten about Lolly? I'll go get Lolly. Lolly, who was just about to take a break to recharge, ran over and quickly carried Lin Yuquan and the other 3 upstairs in a princess carry. With a muffled thud, Jin Hao, unsupported, fell to the carpet. Why does he sleep so poorly? Lin Miaomiao muttered. Yi Hongwen frowned. I'll take him back to bed. Lin Miaomiao didn't object. Although there were guest rooms here, she wasn't familiar with them, so she wasn't planning on keeping Jin Hao. She had expected Yi Hongwen to carry Jin Hao to the car himself, but she hadn't expected drunks to be frowned upon. In the end, Lolly had to resort to princess carry again. After Yi Hongwen left, Lin Miaomiao stared at Lolly thoughtfully. Lolly, aren't you incredibly strong? You could just carry them away, right? Why did you use a princess carry? Facing Lolly, Lin Miaomiao didn't need to pretend to be expressionless, and she became more talkative. Isn't that how it's always carried? Lolly was a little confused. Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. Even though she was a robot, Lolly looked so adorable. Holding a few grown men in a princess carry would look utterly awful. Where did you learn that? Lin Miaomiao tried to figure out where Lolly had picked up her misconception. Lolly's electronic eyes flashed, and she answered honestly, on the starry sky. Lin Miaomiao didn't like going out. Besides daily pickups and housework, Lolly was always free. As an intelligent robot, she knew how to entertain herself. So that's how it is, Lin Miaomiao said, laughing and crying. It was the first time she'd heard an intelligent robot could even read starry sky. If the drunks upstairs knew they were being princess carried by robots, they'd be mortified. Anyway, she was not the one who was ashamed and angry, so Lin Miaomiao was too lazy to think too much. She decided to go to Star Network and work hard. From today on, she had another direction to work hard in. Speaking of which, should she stop training her hand speed? After going to Star Network, Lin Miaomiao went to the Haiguang Mecha Club as usual. The difference was that she now had a top-level membership card. Lin Miaomiao later learned that top-level members could use all kinds of training equipment for free for life, but the identities of those who could become free top-level members were somewhat special, and it was not possible to apply for it with just credit points, so the receptionist did not tell her. Later, Lin Miaomiao, who was reluctant to spend her pocket money. Went to find Lin's father and easily got a top-level membership card. However, what bothered Lin Miaomiao was that since she had the card, it was convenient to go to training, but the attitude of the employees of the Mecha Club towards her became a little weird. Some people even came to curry favor with her intentionally or unintentionally. She didn't know why, because her identity was kept secret. Chapter 53 Mental Training. As soon as they stepped into the Haiguang Mecha Club, the receptionist greeted them with a fawning tone. "Little dragon girl, you're here. Would you like a drink?" "No, thank you," Lin Miaomiao replied with a blank expression. Ever since the staff's change of heart, Lin Miaomiao had to extend her blank expression to Star Network, otherwise she'd be surrounded by people chatting and not even able to train. Still want to do hand speed training? Despite being rejected, the receptionist remained unfazed and, as usual, prepared to book a room for the guest. She was surprised to receive a different answer today. "No, I want to train my mental strength today," Lin Miaomiao replied. The receptionist paused for a moment, then quickly regained her composure. "Okay, please wait, here's your room number. Please swipe your membership card," she said, handing over a card and a small card reader. Lin Miaomiao took it, pulled out her top membership card, and swiped it through the reader, understanding that this was a formality to verify her identity. Once confirmed, she headed towards the teleportation window. Lin Miaomiao had never trained her mental power, but she had seen training methods at school and had a clear idea of how to do it. Upon entering the room, a virtual screen popped up in front of her, asking her to choose a difficulty level. After a moment's thought, Lin Miaomiao chose the easiest. The screen vanished, revealing a virtual maze filled with hundreds of small blue dots. She began projecting her mental power from the entrance, controlling it to slowly move along the maze's corridors to the next dot. Each time her mental power passed a dot, a small blue dot would light up. Once all the dots were lit, she'd completed the level. Lin Miaomiao's first task was to successfully project her mental power. According to the instructional video, projecting mental power was actually quite simple. Simply monitor the movement of her mental power in her mind and simulate the actions she desired. However, after trying for a long time, Lin Miaomiao still couldn't grasp the key. She didn't understand. How could she sense something so illusory? After struggling for a long time, the first little blue dot still didn't light up. Lin Miaomiao's face suddenly turned bitter. If she couldn't learn to channel her mental energy, she would be doomed. The original owner was a skilled practitioner. Unable to sense mental energy, Lin Miaomiao had to find another way. She stared intently at the first blue dot at the virtual maze entrance, repeating to herself, "Light up. Light up quickly. Light up quickly." She kept repeating this for half an hour. Just as Lin Miaomiao was about to give up, a tiny white dot appeared in her mind. From this white dot, a thin line, seemingly ready to break at any moment, slowly stretched out. The starting point of the line slowly extended towards the maze entrance. Finally, the first little blue dot lit up. Overjoyed at success, Lin Miaomiao became complacent. The white line instantly broke, and the blue dot, which had finally lit up, dimmed again. A moment of joy turned to sorrow. Lin Miaomiao didn't care too much. As long as she succeeded once, the second time should be easy. Then she tried again. An hour later, Lin Miaomiao pouted and left the room. The instructional videos claim that once one successfully sensed and channeled their mental energy, the second attempt would be as easy as drinking water was sheer deception. Anyone who drinks water for an hour and still can't get it into their mouth deserves a bad review. Someone, frustrated, actually found the instructional video and threw 100 rotten eggs at it, not even caring about the star coins it cost. Having vented her anger, Lin Miaomiao excitedly ran off to watch the mech battle. She was now a mech pilot, though she wasn't yet proficient at channeling it. This was her second time at the Star Domain Mech Battle Center, and she randomly entered the viewing room. This time, the crowds weren't large, so Lin Miaomiao didn't mind. On the screen, two mech pilots must have just entered the battlefield. Their gleaming, luxurious mechas sat quietly in a small clearing, surrounded by a bubbling swamp. Lin Miaomiao was pleased to see the impressive equipment on both mechas. It was going to be a fierce and exciting battle. However, while Lin Miaomiao saw the beginning, she didn't predict the ending. Perhaps because the open space was too small, the two mechas showed no intention of moving, simply standing still and blasting each other. "You use a laser gun, I use a laser gun," You use an energy cannon, I use an ion cannon. The swamp suddenly became ablaze with light, looking impressive and impressive. Soon, the two mechas were missing limbs or arms. Stunned, Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but question, why don't they take to the air? Mechas can fight in the void, otherwise, how could they fight in the starry sky? But the two mechas on the screen showed no intention of engaging in an aerial battle. Who knows? A nearby spectator casually replied, maybe they won't. Lin Miaomiao couldn't believe it, but considering the two mechas were equipped with immense firepower, standing still and blasting each other for minutes, and yet only losing limbs and no one was wiped out, it seemed plausible. What a shame for such a fine mech with such powerful firepower to be operated by two rookies, Lin Miaomiao sighed softly. The enthusiastic spectator was immediately amused. Beautiful, you don't know much about mechas, do you? Lin Miaomiao was surprised. Yes, I just learned how to operate a mecha. How did you tell that? That's what I knew, the enthusiastic spectator explained with a smile. Mechas rarely load themselves up with hot weaponry because it consumes a lot of energy. Even the top-tier level 8 energy cards don't last long, and on the battlefield, you don't have the luxury of recharging them. I see, Lin Miaomiao understood. So the two people on the screen are also rookies, if nothing unexpected happens, the enthusiastic spectator replied. Mecha pilots can either directly upload scanned mecha data from real life to the battle center, or choose to use the level 1 mecha provided by the battle center, which only has a laser blade. They can then earn points through mecha battles and use these points to upgrade their level 1 mecha or exchange them for weapons. The latter option may seem disadvantageous, but that's just how the world works. In reality, the wealthy can buy mechas, while the poor can only practice with a low-level mechas in school. It's just two local tycoons showing off their wealth. Lin Miaomiao shook her head and prepared to leave. Puchy, the enthusiastic spectator laughed again. You're right, in fact, the people watching in this room are just watching the local tycoons showing off their wealth, and the screen full of light looks very beautiful. Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. There are actually such statements. Aren't these people too idle? Hey, beautiful lady, it's interesting to talk to you. How about exchanging contact information? The enthusiastic spectator said as he handed over the application. More friends, more paths. Lin Miaomiao simply clicked to agree, and then there was another contact in the address book. He was courting death every day. Chapter 54, Mecha Aoksu. Perhaps because Lin Miaomiao was a bit clumsy, it took her a full week of training to reach the point where channeling her mental energy was as easy as drinking water. During this time, she attempted to sense it dozens of times, succeeding 5 times. While the process was somewhat tortuous, the result was positive, and Lin Miaomiao was very satisfied. Now that she could channel her mental energy freely, she decided to begin practicing using it to operate the mecha. The basement of Lin Miaomiao's villa was bare, but with reinforced walls and floors and a protective barrier, it was a perfect place to practice mecha operation, and the twins would sometimes practice there. Lately, the twins had been captivated by their cousin's cooking skills and would return to the villa promptly after class. But after the novelty wore off, they rarely came back for lunch, only asking Lolly to pick them up at night to sleep. Initially, Lin Miaomiao was delighted, thinking she would have less food to prepare for 2 people at lunch and dinner. However, the twins, after their next visit to the cafeteria, couldn't eat and finally insisted that Lin Miaomiao not only leave them dinner but also make extra in the morning so they could take some to go. Seeing the twins' pitiful expressions, Lin Miaomiao, as the older sister, had no choice but to compromise. Lin Jingtao, upon learning of this, immediately followed suit, though this actually made things easier for Lin Miaomiao. During practical training, everyone used the low-level mechas provided by the school, which had only low-level intelligence. At home, Lin Miaomiao could only use her own mecha. After opening the isolation barrier, Lin Miaomiao touched the space button and retrieved the mecha inside. It was a high-level, intelligent, and growable mecha, custom-built specifically for her by the doting Lin Yuhei. Lin Xianhao had previously been sulking for a long time over this mecha, not because his sister had gotten a nice mecha, but because he was too partial to his father. After all, Lin Xianhao only received the custom-built, growable mecha as a reward after he was promoted to level 4 mecha master. Lin Miaomiao's mecha stood about 4.5 meters tall, silver-white with no markings except for the azure eyes. A massive sword slung across its back gave it a strikingly cool appearance. After sending her mental power outward to connect to the control center, the cockpit door opened silently. A silver-white guiding beam precisely enveloped Lin Miaomiao, and then she felt her body floating upwards. Her body seemed to become light and airy, as if she had become a ghost, Lin Miaomiao thought, adjusting her body to sit in the mecha cabin. After the hatch closed, Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but sigh. It's great to be able to use mental power. Although she had been on a mecha some time ago, she couldn't use any mental power at all because she couldn't communicate with a mecha. If she wanted to get in, she could only press the opening button on the mecha. There was no guiding beam, so she had to climb up by herself. Lin Miaomiao is 1.63 meters tall. Facing the huge mecha, it is basically impossible for her to jump into the cockpit in a handsome manner. If she hadn't accompanied her uncle for physical training at that time, she would have found it difficult to even climb up. Just as she was about to check out the difference between a growable mecha and an ordinary mecha, a cheerful girl's voice rang in Lin Miaomiao's mind. "Master, long time no see, have you missed Aoksu?" Lin Miaomiao had learned from the original owner's diary that the name of the mecha was Aoksu, but she did not expect that a mecha with such a cold and arrogant name would be so lively, so she replied indifferently according to the original owner's personality, "No." Aoksu immediately became unhappy. "Master is so mean. For you, I stayed in the repair shop for 2 days, and this is how you repay me." After the last fight with Ji Yanrun, Aoksu scraped off a little paint. Originally, it would take less than half a day to repaint in the repair shop, but Aoksu is a very individual mecha. She thought that repairing it was like patching it, and the colors were different, so she insisted on repainting the whole body. Because it was Lin Yuquan who had taken Aoksu to the repair shop, Lin Miaomiao had no idea what was going on. She simply assumed the mech had a broken part that needed replacing, so she softly comforted him. "Thank you for your hard work, Aoksu, that's good to know," Aoksu said proudly. "By the way, Master, it's only been a few months since we last met, and your mental power has degraded? I told you you can't train without me." Lin Miaomiao frowned. Whose mech was this? Why was it so narcissistic? "Alice, it seems I have to seal some of its functions, lest Master be too foolish and not know the limits of his own mental power," Aoksu continued, unconcerned whether Lin Miaomiao was listening or not. "Aoksu," Lin Miaomiao couldn't help herself. This mech was too narcissistic and chatty. "Don't you think your name doesn't match your image? Such a lively, chatty, and sharp-tongued mech should be called Little Crow or Little Sparrow, not Aoksu." Lin Miaomiao thought her words would dampen Aoksu's chatterbox nature, but unexpectedly, Aoksu became very excited after hearing this. "Master, are you finally going to change my name? I told you that the name Aoksu is too ugly, it's better to call her baby, Bibi, little cutie, etc. This time, Lin Miaomiao was really speechless. Seeing Aoksu fall into the frenzy of changing her name, she could only frown and shout, "Aoksu, shut up, you're giving me a headache." This was really true. There was a voice that kept chattering in her mind, making it difficult not to have a headache. "Master, why didn't you tell me earlier that you had a headache?" Aoksu did not shut up, but this time it didn't speak in Lin Miaomiao's mind, but through a small speaker on the top of the cockpit. Lin Miaomiao's face turned ugly. Could she say that she forgot that the mecha could speak through the speaker? "Okay, I'm going to practice," Lin Miaomiao continued with a stern face. "Aoksu, you cooperate well and don't think about those messy things. Changing the name is very important." "It's not a messy thing," Aoksu argued confidently, but his voice gradually became lower at the end, and he only said vaguely, "I'll cooperate." As an advanced intelligent mecha, Aoksu still knows how to read people's colors. Seeing that the master was really unhappy, it didn't dare to argue any more, for fear that the master would think it was disobedient and format it. However, Aoksu was quiet for a while. Lin Miaomiao had just practiced using mental power to operate the mecha for a while, and it had opinions again. "Master, how come you have become so stupid?" Aoksu said in a loud voice. "It's not enough that your mental power has been downgraded, you can't even control the mecha. Every order you give is long-winded and you can't grasp the key points. You will definitely die quickly on the battlefield like this." Lin Miaomiao's mouth twitched. She really didn't have much experience, but the mecha was moving, although it walked crookedly. But Aoksu's words made sense. She had to admit that when fighting, The mecha operator's mental power had to be continuously connected to the mecha, because what was said with the mouth was always slower than what was conveyed with mental power. In order to save mental power and to improve the accuracy of the attack, the orders given by the mecha operator must be concise but to the point. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55 Lin Gad's Private Booking. Having a chatty yet intelligent mech was a mixed blessing. Although Lin Miaomiao had heard every time she was on board, the rewards were immense. She had learned how to issue simple yet effective commands and could use her mental power to control the mech for basic movements like moving forward and backward, squatting, and standing up. Lin Miaomiao was very pleased with her training and was planning to begin using her mental power in practical mech training in a few days. When Lin Yuhei called, Lin Miaomiao was already in the mech, deeply immersed in her training. Because the video call came during the day, and Lin Yuhei's background showed him still in the office, Lin Miaomiao was a little surprised. "Dad, what's going on?" Lin Yuquan was immediately annoyed. "You're my daughter. Do I need something to talk to you?" "That's not what I meant," Lin Miaomiao said helplessly, but her expression was so blank that her father didn't notice. So Dad Lin was very angry, and a dark look appeared on his serious face. "I raised you to this age, but you didn't know how to video chat with your family often. Haven't you ever thought about how lonely the elderly at home are?" Lin Miaomiao turned her head away and secretly rolled her eyes at the ceiling. After turning back, she looked expressionless again. "Dad, you are not old. If you really feel lonely, you can consider finding a girlfriend." As for the accusation that she didn't video chat with her family often, Lin Miaomiao silently ignored it. They had clearly video chatted 2 days ago, although it was to report her own physical condition. Unfilial daughter, Lin Yuhei was very unhappy. "You would rather let Dad find a girlfriend than spend more time with him." The serious president was actually so childish, which made Lin Miaomiao, as a daughter, feel a little unbearable. "Dad, if you're okay, I'll hang up first. I'm still doing mecha training." Lin Yuhei seemed to have just realized that his daughter was in the mecha, and immediately frowned. "Why don't you get off the mecha to answer the communication? The pressure in the cockpit is so great. Aren't you afraid that your body can't bear it?" "It's okay." Lin Miaomiao didn't care. Aoxa temporarily sealed some functions, and now it is only equivalent to first-level mecha. The level of mental strength decreased, but the physical fitness was steadily improved. With Lin Miaomiao's current body, it would be fine to stay in the first-level mecha for a longer time. Lin Yuhei, who used to be a mecha technician, understood the situation, but he was still worried, so he didn't beat around the bush. "It's like this. It's almost the end of the year, and it's time for Haiguang's year-end party this year. It's not good to have the same old thing every year. I heard that you, Miaomiao, have a new way of cooking it." Lin Miaomiao understood without him having to say the following. "You mean hot pot? You want me to make it on the day of the party?" Lin Yuhei nodded. "The party will be held on the second floor of the Lin family restaurant. I've already had people set up there. In addition to hot pot, we have to prepare some other dishes and snacks. What do you think? How many people are there?" Lin Miaomiao asked. "The number of people is almost the same every year." Lin Yuhei remembered the answer without even thinking. "About 200, got it." Lin Miaomiao had an idea. The Lin family restaurant would have to close for a day to prepare. With Yi, Lolly, and the 2 stupid robots from the Lin family restaurant helping out, and brother who helping with the cooking, it wouldn't be difficult to prepare food for 200 people, not to mention that the main dish is the convenient hot pot. Come to think of it, would it be okay to serve a popular food like hot pot with wine? It seems to lower the grade of the Haiguang mecha group a bit. Lin Miaomiao just thought about it, and then threw the idea aside. This way of eating is quite new in the interstellar space, and not many people know about it. What it lacks in freshness is compensated by its grade. What's wrong? Are there any difficulties? Lin Yuhei asked when he saw his daughter didn't speak for a long time. There is a small problem, Lin Miaomiao said. There are enough people in the kitchen, but we only have 2 waiters to serve the dishes in our restaurant. It won't be convenient to use Miaomiao and Lolly to make up the number at the banquet. This is a small problem, Lin Yuhei said. We can find a few part-time waiters when the time comes. Anything else? Also, We need to specially customize a kind of pot. It took me 2 days to customize 2 last time. This time I have to customize more than 20. Do I have enough time? Lin Miaomiao's expressionless face was slightly distorted. It cost her 1,000 credit points to customize those 2 pots. It was really not cheap. Lin Yuhei thought about it and made a decision. The banquet will be in 3 days, so it won't take too long. Send a sample over here by express delivery and have Kai send it to the intelligent robot manufacturer for the technicians to study and have them expedite the production of a few. Having a technician who worked on intelligent robots research a pot seemed like a waste of talent. Lin Miaomiao found it a bit unacceptable, but since her father had made the decision, she would just go along with it. With the pot issue resolved, Lin Yuhei felt they had discussed it thoroughly. That's it, then. Any other questions? Yes, Lin Miaomiao nodded seriously. They're very important, then tell me, Lin Yuhei said, also looking serious. What's the budget for the banquet? And since the Lin family restaurant might have to be closed that day, even if we're renting the place out, should we give them some hard work fees? Lin Miaomiao maintained a serious expression, but she was actually quite happy. This was a big deal, and she was sure to make more money. Lin Yuhei was quite speechless. Miaomiao, I am your father, and you still ask me for hard work pay. Business is business, and father and daughter should settle accounts clearly. Besides, Lin's restaurant is not just mine, Lin Miaomiao replied. Oh, Lin Yuhei raised his eyebrows, and a smile appeared on his serious face. Then shouldn't you pay the rent for the store first? Lin Miaomiao immediately regretted it. Why did she forget about it? She threw the hard work pay aside and said, since we are father and daughter, forget about the hard work pay, but you have to give me the credit points for buying groceries first. That's fine. Lin Yuhei agreed readily this time. I'll ask Kai to transfer the money to you later, and the phone charges for the year-end party have to be paid into the company's account. After the matter was discussed, Lin Yuhei hung up the video call for fear of affecting his daughter's training, but Lin Miaomiao didn't have much intention to practice. She got out of the mecha immediately, put the mecha away and went back to the room. If Lin's father hadn't reminded her, Lin Miaomiao wouldn't have realized that the Spring Festival was approaching in this world. She remembered that it was September of the 5551st year of the star calendar when she first arrived here. At that time, the original owner had just entered her sophomore year, and the accident happened just a few days after she registered. Lin Miaomiao discovered in history books that the current calendar is a continuation of the ancient Earth Gregorian calendar, which means that she traveled from the 21st century for more than 3,000 years to get here. It has been 5 months since she came here. Lin Miaomiao has been avoiding her past memories, but now she can't help it. She doesn't know how her mother is doing now. If possible, she would rather the original owner be reborn in her body, at least her mother won't be sad. Chapter 56 Preparations before the banquet. On the morning of the year-end banquet, Lin Miaomiao was supposed to have a class, but thinking about the banquet for 100 people that evening, Lin Miaomiao, who used to just sell boxed lunches, felt a great sense of responsibility. After breakfast, she excitedly called Lolly and set off. As for the question of classes, didn't Lin Jingtao help her to ask for leave? After arriving at the store, Lin Miaomiao saw that it was only a little after 9 o'clock, and she immediately felt a little regretful. The banquet was not until 7 o'clock in the evening, so why did she come so early? But since she was already there, she might as well start working early. Lin Miaomiao hung up the closed today sign in advance and took Lolly into the kitchen. The 2 silly robots in the store were squatting in the corner to charge. When they saw Lin Miaomiao come in, they blinked their electronic eyes and said happily, "Little boss, long time no see, I missed you so much." Little boss was the name given to Lin Miaomiao by the people in the store, and the big boss was Lin Yuquan. Facing the unintelligent, dumb robots, Lin Miaomiao was unusually enthusiastic. "Big silly, second silly, long time no see. I missed you too, boss. Are you here to give us a day off?" Big silly asked expectantly. "Boss, they said you were going to school. When are you taking us there too?" Second silly asked. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. Dumb robots were supposed to follow orders and didn't usually think for themselves. Asking such a question now must mean someone had too much free time and was just teasing them. Hearing the 2 dumb robots ask such a question, Lolita flew into a rage. As robots, you're always thinking of doing things like taking a day off or going to school. It's embarrassing. Stop charging and get back to work, Lin Miaomiao frowned. Although Lolita had helped her out, categorizing taking a day off and going to school as something unorthodox was a bit much. Just as she was feeling uneasy, Lin Miaomiao saw Big Silly and Second Silly start to roll, though their bodies were too square, making the roll difficult. Fighting back a laugh, Lin Miaomiao said to Lolly, "Forget it. It's too hard for them to just leave." "Okay, master," Lolly replied, turning to Docilly and Ursilly. "Get up and walk." Docilly and Ursilly immediately got up. Docilly was touched. "The boss really cares about us," Ursilly immediately agreed. "That's right. Okay, stop flattering me. I just wanted to get you up and working," Lin Miaomiao said casually. "Lolly, take them and clean up the kitchen. Find all the unused dishes and wash and disinfect them. Also, find the large bowls, small trays, and serving tongs." The last 3 items were Lin Miaomiao's new purchases. She had decided to have a buffet hot pot for the evening's year-end banquet. They could go to the food section and pick up whatever they wanted. This way, they could also avoid wasting food if guests didn't like it. The 3 Lolita girls started working, and Lin Miaomiao logged onto Star Network to do some shopping. The Lin family restaurant purchased its ingredients from a fixed place, a large supermarket called Green Star Farm. It not only had a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, but also a variety of domesticated meats. Lin Miaomiao browsed inside and bought 100 kilograms each of potatoes and sweet potatoes, 100 kilograms each of Chinese cabbage, enoki mushrooms, Chinese cabbage, bean sprouts, radishes, and other meats, 50 kilograms of pig's blood and mung bean vermicelli, 100 kilograms each of pork, beef, and lamb. She also bought 25 whole chickens, 50 kilograms of frozen pork dumplings, and 100 kilograms each of several fruits popular with the people of the Federation. After confirming with the owner that delivery would be immediate, Lin Miaomiao left the Green Star Farm supermarket. The small amount of meat she bought was definitely not enough for hot pot, but domesticated meat was too expensive, so she decided to buy more exotic beast meat. She bought the exotic beast meat directly from the mercenary exotic beast meat supermarket, where the meat was fresher, sourced from exotic beasts that mercenaries had slaughtered while on missions. Since they didn't have time to sell it at a stall, they simply sold it to the mercenary guild's purchasing station. Lin Miaomiao didn't spend much time buying exotic animal meat, as she only bought the types she liked. There weren't many varieties, but she bought large quantities. She bought 5 different kinds, each weighing 100 kilograms. Finally, it was time for drinks. This time, Lin Miaomiao went to a wholesale market and haggled with the shopkeeper for a long time. She ended up buying 200 kilograms of wine, 10 cases of Jinfeng wine, 20 cases of Baobao herbal tea, and 5 cases of apple cider vinegar. An hour later, Lin Miaomiao finished her shopping spree and checked her account. She was shocked to find she had spent over 50,000 credit points. She wondered if she'd overspent. But then she thought, since she wasn't overspending, she didn't care. Besides, the beauty of a hot pot buffet is that you can just fill in any dishes you're short of, and you don't have to worry about overslicing. By the time Lin Miaomiao logged off StarNet, her purchases had already arrived. Because of the large quantity, express delivery wasn't an option, so everything was delivered directly to her door. Brother who was counting the ingredients, and after he finished counting, he asked the 3 robots to clean them. When he saw Lin Miaomiao coming out of the lounge, he asked, "Boss, have you bought everything?" "I bought everything on the list, and I also bought some exotic beast meat," Lin Miaomiao replied with a blank face. The 2 of them had already discussed what to buy during the video call, so they were not worried about being underprepared. "That's good," Brother Hu breathed a sigh of relief. He was still worried that some things were out of stock. Lin Miaomiao didn't say a word, but just casually glanced at the 3 robots at work. "Why hasn't Yi come yet?" After working here for a few months, Brother Hu also knew that Yi was the robot housekeeper of the Lin family's old house, so he smiled and said, "Anyway, it's enough to have Lolly and the others helping out. It doesn't matter whether Yi comes or not." This was true, and Lin Miaomiao no longer worried about it. She even found an excuse for Yi. Maybe someone went back to the old house last night, and Yi had to take good care of them before going out. A casual glance outside the kitchen revealed Feng Jie cleaning up the last few months' worth of water. Lin Miaomiao rarely came here these days, and Lin Yuqun hadn't been available at all, so he had to seize this rare opportunity to settle the bill. Lin Miaomiao was just about to find something to do when a sudden thought struck him, and he frowned. Brother Hu. Isn't Zhu Zhaoqi here yet, young boss? Just call me old Hu, or Hu Guangshan. I'm not worthy of being your brother, Hu Guangshan said, a little hesitantly, before answering Lin Miaomiao's question. She just video called me saying she's got something to do and will be here later, every day, Lin Miaomiao scoffed. This wasn't the first time she'd heard of such a situation. Maybe they think I'm young and easy to fool. Hu Guangshan remained silent. He also had a bad impression of Zhu Zhaoqi. If it weren't for Fang Jie, the store manager's soft-heartedness, he would have suggested to the young boss that they replace a waiter. Fang Jie, stop, Lin Miaomiao called out. What's going on? Fang Jie turned around, puzzled. Lin Miaomiao said simply, send a video message to Zhu Zhaoqi and tell her that she doesn't need to come in the future. Find a part-time job to take her place in the next few days. I'll post the recruitment information later. Fang Jie hesitated. Zhaoqi's family conditions are not very good. I'm afraid she will be even more sad if she loses this job. That's her own choice, Lin Miaomiao said indifferently. Chapter 57 Making Trouble. Zhu Zhaoqi's matter was resolved. Although Fang Jie felt reluctant, he still ended the video call and informed her that she didn't need to come. Her salary would be promptly deposited into her account. Lin Miaomiao didn't care about such a trivial matter and turned to help Luli make meatballs. Hot pot without meatballs was a major drawback. Luli, make beef balls, fish balls, and pork meatballs. Lin Miaomiao thought there were a lot of dishes, and the meatballs would be the three with the best taste. Make more, okay, master, Luli said without hesitation. The beef balls were the first to be made. Luli took 30 pounds of beef, removed the fascia, soaked it to remove the blood, and then blended it in a blender. Then she had to wait 20 minutes. Lin Miaomiao took a look and felt that she was not as skilled as Luli in making meatballs. She didn't bother to help anymore and rushed to prepare some pre-made ingredients, such as making bone broth. The hot pot broth is very important. Lin Miaomiao had been pressed for time the previous 2 times and didn't use a low heat to make the broth. Now it was still early before the banquet, so a good broth was essential. The Lin family bistro's freezer always had a stockpile of exotic beast bones, so there was no need to buy any during the shopping trip. Lin Miaomiao simply asked Shadet to fetch 20 pounds. She washed the bones, blanched them in hot water, and poured them into a 50-liter pot. She turned on the power and set the heat to high. Half an hour later, the bone broth began to simmer. Lin Miaomiao lowered the heat to let it simmer. With the 3 capable robots helping out, Lin Miaomiao was actually quite free. Snacks and the like didn't need to be prepared so early. The banquet did require a 9-layer chocolate cake, but since she had no baking experience, she handed it over to Hu Guangshan. Lin Miaomiao had nothing else to do. Seeing that it was almost noon, she prepared to make lunch. Even though she had a mission today, Yi Hongwen couldn't skip meals. Unless she had graduated, she would have to continue working as a free cook to avoid failing. He actually threatened me with academic credits, which shows that he is also a vicious person, Lin Miaomiao muttered to himself. I wish he could get out of here soon. In the Milulan First Military Academy, the vicious Yi Hongwen suddenly sneezed loudly, thinking it was just an accident, unaware that someone was cursing him. The dishes and ingredients were prepared and were about to be cooked when crying was heard outside. The voice sounded familiar. Lin Miaomiao paused and looked out the window. She saw that Fang Jie was no longer at the cashier, but was standing at the door at a loss. Outside the door, a woman was sitting on the ground crying about something. Lin Miaomiao frowned. Fang Jie's performance as a store manager was not up to standard. However, good management was hard to find, so she could only find a way to train her. If it really didn't work, she would talk about it later. What's going on? Lin Miaomiao asked coldly as she emerged from the kitchen. Her gaze flicked to the woman on the floor, and she suddenly understood. Zhu Zhaoqi? What are you even doing here, young boss? Zhu Zhaoqi was surprised. She'd known the young boss would be helping out today, but she hadn't expected him to return so early in the morning. No wonder Fang Jie, that coward, had been so adamant in dismissing her. It looked like her previous plan wasn't going to work, Zhu Zhaoqi thought. She stood up quickly, approached Lin Miaomiao, and asked with a flattering smile, "Why are you here, young boss? How could I have seen the excitement if I hadn't come?" Lin Miaomiao said expressionlessly. Zhu Zioki's smile faltered, a sense of embarrassment washed over her. The man in front of her was clearly younger than her, so why was he her boss? Wasn't it just because he had a good family background? Despite knowing this, Zhu Zioki didn't dare to say anything harsh. It was difficult for her to find a better paying job than her current one, so she had to hold back her displeasure. I can explain, Zhu Zioki said eagerly. I was late today because of something at home. It wasn't intentional. Please forgive me this time, only late today, Lin Miaomiao asked. This, Zhu Zioki hesitated. Did the boss already know? He hadn't been in the store for a long time. Could someone have complained? Zhu Zioki glanced at Fang Jie with suspicion. Yes, Fang Jie, that cowardly managerial idiot, must be afraid that she would take over the manager's position, so she deliberately slandered her. Thinking of this, Zhu Zioki decided to expose Fang Jie's ugly face. Boss, I know someone is deliberately slandering me in front of you. Don't believe it. They're just afraid that I will take his position. Lin Miaomiao was a little helpless. This person was too weird. She was fired because she was always late. Why couldn't he get the point? Okay, some things are clear to everyone. You can leave now, Lin Miaomiao said languidly. Boss, you can't do this to me. Zhu Zioki couldn't accept it, and her voice suddenly became sharp. Lin Miaomiao was sweating. Why can't I do this to you? Fang Jie's performance was not very good either, and not only did you tolerate it, you even let him be the manager. But I was just late a few times because of family matters, and you fired me, Zhu Zioki said indignantly. Such differential treatment. Are you having an affair with that pretty boy Fang Jie? Zhu Zioki, Fang Jie, who had been in a difficult situation, shouted in disbelief. Don't talk nonsense. The owner is not even an adult. How dare you slander her? You can't blame me for this. She did it too obviously, Zhu Zioki argued. You are simply unreasonable, Fang Jie said with anger, her face flushed. Enough, Lin Miaomiao barked coldly. Zhu Zioki, do you want me to sue you for defamation? Zhu Zioki's face paled, but she remained unwilling to accept the situation. I didn't say anything wrong. At most, let outsiders judge. We're both working here, so why should he be more comfortable than me? Because it was almost noon. Zhu Zioki's sobbing outside the store had already attracted a crowd of onlookers, including the owner of a nearby restaurant, who was only too happy to add fuel to the fire. Boss Lin, this is your fault. We're all employees. Even if you want to show favoritism, you can't be so obvious. A tall, thin, middle-aged man said, his words filled with malice. Zhu Zioki knew someone would take advantage of her misfortune, and she felt a little proud. She no longer expected to work here and just wanted to disgust her former boss. Zhu Zioki thought that if someone supported her, she could humiliate Lin Miaomiao, but she didn't expect the other person to see any reason to be angry. Before crossing over, Lin Miaomiao and her mother had endured a lot of hardships running a fast food restaurant. They'd even experienced the pointed criticism and scolding of competitors who couldn't compete with them. How could they care less about such insinuations? If Boss Wang feels you can tolerate an employee who's constantly late, doesn't work hard, and loves to slack off, why not hire Zhu Zioki back? Lin Miaomiao said calmly. The middle-aged man's face darkened. He naturally couldn't accept such an employee, so he immediately shut up. Lin Miaomiao sneered at this. Alright, let's all go. Don't you have anything to do? Everyone dispersed in an instant, and Zhu Zioki also retreated in disgrace. Chapter 58, Year-End Banquet. The trouble was gone, but Lin Miaomiao felt unhappy. She began to think her judgment was flawed. Initially, Lin Miaomiao ignored Zhuang Fang, but later, at her uncle's suggestion, she kept him. Despite his somewhat weak personality, Fang Jie still performed well. Zhu Zioki, on the other hand, was hired because she thought he was talented, but now she discovered she was a bit confused, not very good at work, but good at being lazy. Now, when she needed to hire another waiter, Lin Miaomiao no longer trusted her judgment. Let's let my uncle interview. Making up her mind, Lin Miaomiao posted the job posting on Star Network, leaving Lin Yuquan's number as the contact person. After that, she let the matter go, happily running back to the kitchen to make lunch. The bone broth was still simmering. Lin Miaomiao tasted it and thought it was okay, but not great. After some thought, she threw in 3 pre-cooked chickens, half a pound each of wolfberries, longans, and red dates. She brought it to boil over high heat, then continued to simmer. After lunch, bored and embarrassed to watch others busy themselves in the kitchen, Lin Miaomiao went to the lounge to practice her mind control on StarNet. During this time, she received a text from Xiaoran, asking if she had seen Kikiu recently and if she knew where he was. Confused, Lin Miaomiao replied, "No, don't you know each other in real life?" Lin Miaomiao's point was that Xiaoran was more familiar with Kikiu and should be the one who knew his whereabouts. Xiaoran didn't reply, but Lin Miaomiao didn't care. She practiced mind control for several hours and finally completed the 1-star difficulty level. At 5 p.m., Lin Miaomiao logged off StarNet and found Yi already helping in the kitchen. She called out, "Yi, you're here." Yi, who was helping to plate the chopped vegetables, looked up at her. "Miss Miaomiao, why haven't you been home lately?" "I've been busy with school." Lin Miaomiao made up an excuse. She couldn't just say it was too far and she was too lazy to walk. Yi readily accepted this reason, but still said, "Remember to come home more often when you have time." Reminded by the robot butler to go home more often, Lin Miaomiao could only awkwardly agree. Yi ignored her and returned to work. Lin Miaomiao tasted the hot pot soup and found it acceptable. After simmering it all afternoon, nearly a full pot of soup had been lost. She added a little more water and continued to simmer. With 200 people dining, she needed more soup. Hu Guangshan's large cake had been finished long ago and was in the refrigerator. Now he was making smaller cakes like Black Forest and green tea. After watching the cake-making process, Lin Miaomiao began her own work, preparing a few snacks, such as pumpkin pancakes, taro and sweet potato balls, popcorn chicken, fried chicken wings, and French fries. By the time she finished preparing the snacks, it was already 6:30. People attending the annual meeting had begun arriving, and it was time to start the stir-fry. Since the main dish was hot pot, Lin Miaomiao didn't plan to make too many dishes, tentatively aiming for 6. 3 of the dishes were the restaurant's signature dishes, a task assigned to Hu Guangshan, while the remaining 3 dishes not on the menu were handled by Lin Miaomiao. The banquet began at 7 o'clock sharp, and the temporary waiters were already in place. Lin Miaomiao finished her work and prepared to go to the second floor to peek at the year-end banquet. Removing her stain-proof apron, Lin Miaomiao took the stairs directly to the second floor. The door to the banquet hall was wide open, and from a distance, she could see that it was bustling with activity. While no one was paying attention, Lin Miaomiao sneaked behind the French window. Although the banquet hall was on the second floor of the Lin family bistro, the interior decoration was designed by Kai, and Lin Miaomiao had never been up there to take a look, but now she had the opportunity to take a closer look. The hall was decorated festively, with large red decorative fabric flowers hanging from the ceiling, countless colorful neon lights, and pots of fresh flowers piled in every corner of the floor. 20 round tables were arranged in 2 squares, each seating 10. In the center of the squares sat an oval podium, about a meter high, with ladders on all 4 sides. Atop it, covered with a red carpet, sat a larger round table. Against the wall facing the door stood a long row of tables, laid out with a variety of raw dishes, snacks, condiments, and drinks. 2 large sterilizers sat on either side, housing bowls, chopsticks, condiment plates, and small stainless steel trays for serving dishes. To prevent the hot dishes from cooling and affecting the flavor, and given the limited quantity, they were plated and served directly to the table. Lin Miaomiao spotted her father and his assistant sitting at the podium. That table held 15 people, all senior executives from Waco. The other 20 tables were also occupied, each bustling with activity, socializing, and grabbing food from the pots. Although there was plenty of food, no one wanted to wait. Everyone looked satisfied with a meal tonight. Lin Miaomiao nodded smugly and prepared to leave. Perhaps her movements weren't quick enough, but someone with a keen eye had spotted her. "Miss Lin, are you done?" an excited young woman called out, and the banquet hall fell silent, everyone's eyes instinctively darting towards the door. As Lin Yuhei's beloved daughter, most people at Haiguang had seen Lin Miaomiao's photo. It was on Lin Yuhei's desk. The woman was a secretary in the CEO's office, frequenting the office, so they naturally recognized her. "Miaomiao," Lin Yuhei called upon spotting his daughter, "come here and have dinner with Daddy." Lin Miaomiao turned away helplessly, but didn't approach. Instead, she replied with a blank expression, "I've already eaten." This was the truth. By the time the 6 stir-fries came out of the wok, Lin Miaomiao had enough food for 7 or 8 people. Before she came up to watch the fun, she had already delivered Yi Hongwen, the twins, and Lin Jingtao's meals, and then filled her stomachs with Hu Guangshan and Fang Jia. Lin Yuhe, already quite drunk, said with a rosy face, "It's okay, eat as much as you can. Just think of it as accompanying Dad." Everyone started calling Lin Miaomiao to the table, some even approached to invite her. Seeing no escape, Lin Miaomiao reluctantly took the podium. The person next to Lin Yuhe had already made a seat available. After they sat down, Lin Yuhe personally went to get his daughter dishes and drinks. His attentive service was so thorough that Lin Miaomiao felt overwhelmed. Was he being a devoted father? Fortunately, the people at the same table were all highly capable senior managers who had no intention of flattering the CEO. They only exchanged a few words with Lin Miaomiao at the beginning, and then paid little attention to her. Lin Miaomiao reluctantly sat for 10 minutes or so before leaving, claiming she had to go back to school. Chapter 59 Confrontation. After the year-end banquet, the school was about to hold final exams. Lin Miaomiao, sensing the intense hostility of the exams, began to wonder if there was a way to dodge them, perhaps feigning illness. However, with the advancement of technology, Lin Miaomiao's schemes were simply impossible to pull off. She could only sigh and continue studying and training diligently. During this time, Lin Miaomiao had become able to rudimentarily control the mecha with her mind, and her collaboration with Aoksu had become increasingly seamless. It would be even better if Aoksu stopped constantly nagging about changing her name. After another night of frantic study, Lin Miaomiao yawned as she entered the mecha training grounds, where she was soon greeted by her fellow student, Liu Kair. "Miaomiao," Liu Kair asked, "what were you doing up there last night? Why are you yawning again?" "Did you go on a date?" Lin Miaomiao said, faceless. "Don't keep saying weird things. I'm only 16, what does it matter?" Liu Kair shrugged. "Your life wouldn't be complete without a truly earth-shattering romance while you're still young. What about you?" Lin Miaomiao asked. "Me?" Liu Kair was startled. Weren't they discussing Lin Miaomiao's love life? Why did they bring her up for no reason? Lin Miaomiao reminded her indifferently, "Tell me about the earth-shaking love you've experienced." This, Liu Kair suddenly became embarrassed. "That means I haven't found someone to share the earth-shaking love with me, is that so?" Lin Miaomiao nodded. "Then I haven't found one either." Liu Kair, "Okay, you're right. How can I not find one? Classmate Lin Miaomiao had an earth-shaking love not long ago." Zhu Pinting, who was standing aside, interrupted, with a lot of deep meaning in her words. "Pinting?" Liu Kair frowned. She always felt that Pinting was a little weird recently, and was always targeting Miaomiao intentionally or unintentionally. Zhu Pinting rolled her eyes at Liu Kair in annoyance. "Why are you protecting her like this? You have the ability to do it, but you don't let people say it. What earth-shattering love are you talking about? Everyone knows that Lin Miaomiao likes Teacher Yi. Unfortunately, Teacher Yi probably hates her very much." Liu Kair looked at Lin Miaomiao with some worry. Seeing that she still had a blank face and seemed not to be hurt, she immediately breathed a sigh of relief and said to Zhu Pinting unhappily, "Can you shut up? We are all classmates. Is there any need to make such an ugly scene, huh? I'm just telling the truth. Teacher Yi may hate her very much. Aren't you afraid of being implicated by her?" Zhu Pinting was very unhappy and glared at Lin Miaomiao fiercely. Liu Kair was so angry that her eyebrows raised and she opened her mouth to argue, but was stopped by Lin Miaomiao. "What's wrong with me liking Teacher Yi?" Lin Miaomiao raised her chin, acting cool and aloof. "If he doesn't agree, it's his loss. Who knows, he might even come after me someday. How can you be so shameless?" Zhu Pinting screamed, drawing a few glances, but she remained oblivious, only shouting, "Do you know how annoying you are? Someone like you still wants to get close to Teacher Yi? You're dreaming. There are so many people who hate me. Who do you think you are?" Lin Miaomiao sneered, ready to goad Zhu Pinting again, but she noticed a man in military uniform standing at the classroom door. It was none other than the Teacher Yi they were talking about, so she decisively shut up. Zhu Pinting headed back to the door, unaware that the teacher had entered the classroom early. Provoked by Lin Miaomiao's words, she immediately challenged him. "Lin Miaomiao, do you dare to challenge me in a mecha battle?" "Dare? Of course not." Lin Miaomiao was filled with grief and indignation. She had only learned a few basic moves, so how could she possibly fight in a real fight? However, it was best not to expose this fact. Lin Miaomiao replied with a sullen face, "With your skills, you'd better not show off and waste my time." Everyone was silent. Wow, isn't the goddess a bit too sharp-tongued? Zhu Pinting, who was being taunted, was now flushed red with anger. Furious, she said, "Lin Miaomiao, don't try to be so rude. You just don't dare to fight. I think you should stay away from Teacher Yi from now on." Zhu Pinting had meant to goad Lin Miaomiao into a fight, but she misunderstood, thinking she had found the reason she was being targeted. She was so frustrated that she glared at Yi Hongwen. What was the point of being so handsome? He was surrounded by so many bad relationships. Yi Hongwen, who was innocently being irritated, thought, did he misjudge? Lin Miaomiao's behavior clearly showed that she still had feelings for him. Did he need to find another chef? Yi Hongwen was still thinking about eating when Lin Miaomiao spoke up. "Zhu Pinting, so you've also got a crush on Teacher Yi. No wonder you, like Ji Ziyan, tried so hard to trick me into doing it." The classroom erupted in an uproar. Another beautiful woman had fallen for Teacher Yi, leaving the many male students in the class feeling incredibly embarrassed. Yi Hongwen's thoughts were much simpler. He shouldn't be a teacher here, and he wouldn't have to get involved in all this mess. The bell rang, and Zhu Pinting, whose secrets were exposed, turned pale. She finally noticed Yi Hongwen standing at the door. "Wow," Zhu Pinting cried and ran out of the classroom through the back door. "Your inner qualities are truly poor." Lin Miaomiao's comment was a summary. Lin Miaomiao truly believed this. Yi Hongwen had heard her confession, yet she remained calm and composed. She was nothing like Zhu Pinting, who had burst into tears when her secrets were exposed. Speaking of which, today's action might just yield a pleasant surprise. Just by looking at the cracks on Yi Hongwen's icy face, Lin Miaomiao could tell he was feeling mixed emotions. Perhaps she wouldn't have to be a free cook anymore. Just as Lin Miaomiao's mood was elevating, she heard Yi Hongwen's icy voice say, "Today, everyone has free practice. Lin Miaomiao, since you think Zhu Pinting is no match for you, how about I personally challenge you to a real fight?" After a long struggle, unwilling to give up the free cook, after all, finding a chef who cooks to his liking is truly difficult, Yi Hongwen decided to give Lin Miaomiao a beating to vent his anger. What? Lin Miaomiao was stunned. Was he planning to beat her up? "Hurry up and get the mecha," Yi Hongwen urged impatiently. Lin Miaomiao panicked and made her usual excuse, "But my injury isn't healed yet. Your checkup says it's healed." Yi Hongwen ruthlessly punctured the excuse. As for how he knew that, it was from what Lin Yuquan had told him that day at the hot pot dinner. "But my mental strength is only D+ right now." Lin Miaomiao was still struggling. Seeing the other party's reluctance, Yi Hongwen inexplicably felt a lot better, so he said kindly, "Mecha battles are all about stopping when you get the point." At this point, Lin Miaomiao could no longer refuse. After all, she had just disliked Zhu Pinting's poor skills, and now here came a skilled one. If she didn't accept the challenge, she would be scorned. Chapter 60 Crushing. Lin Miaomiao kept looking back as she went to retrieve her practice mech, hoping Yi Hongwen would show mercy and let her go. However, the greater the expectation, the greater the disappointment. No matter how many times Lin Miaomiao turned back, Yi Hongwen would just stare at her, neither sad nor happy, neither angry nor resentful. Ugh, why did she think of such a strange adjective? Lin Miaomiao pulled her thoughts back, and a strange fire ignited within her. Since Yi Hongwen refused to give up, she would teach him a lesson today. Lin Miaomiao rushed towards the nearest practice mech with great momentum. Just as she was about to communicate with it, a petite man stopped her and said timidly, "Student Lin, are you in the wrong place? Your mech is over there." Following the direction the petite man pointed, Lin Miaomiao saw the mech she was supposedly wearing. Seeing the familiar number on the mech's head, she broke into cold sweat. After all these days of mech classes, she had only just realized that the practice mechas were fixed. Speaking of which, she'd been the last one to go into the mecha during class a few days ago, and there was always only one left in the warehouse, so naturally, she hadn't noticed. "Sorry, I was distracted," Lin Miaomiao apologized, but her expression remained expressionless, making her seem insincere. Fortunately, her classmates had recently noticed her expressionless nature and didn't mind it much. The petite boy didn't mind either, believing that Lin Miaomiao was worried about the upcoming practical training with the teacher. After all, if Teacher Yi didn't take action, it would be fine, but if he did, he would definitely beat the hell out of everyone. Lin Miaomiao's expression suddenly turned strange. Could the person in front of her have been born the wrong gender? Judging by her height, good looks, and gentle demeanor, if she dressed like a woman, she'd be a real beauty. She thought about it, but she wasn't foolish enough to express it out loud. The classmates had finally become closer to her recently, and she couldn't let such a small incident ruin their relationship. Lin Miaomiao nodded randomly and turned to walk towards her training mecha. After her mental power connected with the mecha's intelligent brain, the tractor beam brought Lin Miaomiao into the mecha. A childish boy's voice sounded, "The system has been activated. I am the mecha Xiaoya. I am happy to serve you, classmate Lin Miaomiao." Not in combat mode, Lin Miaomiao directly gave the order, "Go to the training ground." Xiaoya looked clumsy, but walked very quickly. As soon as Lin Miaomiao gave the order, Xiaoya quickly rushed out of the warehouse. There were many more mechas on the spacious training ground, but no one went to train. Instead, they scattered around Yi Hongwen, apparently preparing to watch the drama of the teacher torturing the students. Lin Miaomiao's scalp tingled, but she had to muster up the courage to step forward, comforting herself that it was normal for students to lose to teachers, and there was no need to be afraid of embarrassment. "It takes so long to get a mecha," Yi Hongwen said coldly. Without waiting for a reply, a sleek black mecha appeared beside him. The hatch opened, but no guide beam appeared. Yi Hongwen moved slightly and instantly leaped onto the mecha. "Level 6 mecha," a classmate exclaimed excitedly. During his class demonstrations, Yi Hongwen used the practice mechas provided by the school. These mechas were mostly practiced by students in the armor department. Since they couldn't fetch a good price, the school purchased them at a low price to help the mecha students practice their skills. Lin Miaomiao's dream of beating Yi Hongwen earlier was also related to the mecha's low performance. Looking at the imposing level 6 mecha, Lin Miaomiao's face darkened. A beginner mecha versus a level 6 mecha, the level advantage alone would be enough to immobilize her. How could she possibly win? However, most mechas above level 5 were capable of growth. Perhaps Teacher Yi would lower the level to beginner to be fair, the students thought, and Lin Miaomiao was no exception. However, it turned out that Yi Hongwen had no such intention. He just took action directly. Yi Hongwen did not use any firearms, but just commanded the black mecha to move forward quickly. While Lin Miaomiao was still unable to react, he picked up Xiaoya. The black mecha swung its arms and threw Xiaoya to the open space fiercely. "Lin Miaomiao, foul! Why did you just start fighting without saying a word? Adjust your posture so that your lower limbs touch the ground first and stabilize your body." Lin Miaomiao gave an order in his mind. Xiaoya rolled over awkwardly and tried hard to adjust his posture. After his feet landed on the ground, he had to bend his knees and kneel on the ground to stabilize his body because of the great impact. Lin Miaomiao was also having a hard time in the cockpit. What made her most depressed was that Yi Hongwen did not give her any chance to breathe. The black mecha had already kicked towards Xiaoya's cockpit. Xiaoya was still kneeling, making it difficult for her to dodge. Seeing the kick about to land, Lin Miaomiao suddenly remembered Dong Yu's suggestion of rolling. If a human could roll, so could a mecha. Lin Miaomiao made up her mind. "Xiaoya, drop to the ground and roll to the left." Xiaoya immediately dropped to the ground and rolled to the left. The students watching from the left hurriedly scurried off to other locations. Xiaoya's successful roll escaped danger, and Yi Hongwen seemed a little surprised. The black mecha paused for a moment, then chased after him again, this time simply stamping on him. Lin Miaomiao was frustrated. Wasn't this too rude? She wouldn't even let him stand. So, she decided to throw the can down. "Xiaoya, don't stand up. Just roll back and forth on the ground. Roll as fast as you can, towards where there are people." So, the students in Class 2A got to witness the goddess's cunning tactics. Instead of trying to stand up, she directed her mechas to roll back and forth towards crowded areas. Everyone was busy, dodging Xiaoya as they rolled, their frequency so high that they accidentally collided with each other. Yi Hongwen also encountered a lot of trouble because of these dodging mechas. How could he fight in such a chaotic situation? Yi Hongwen couldn't help himself, turned on his mech's external speaker, and shouted coldly, "If you're afraid of getting hit, just fly up. What are you doing running around here and there?" With these words, the students in Class 2A finally realized their mistake and commanded their mechas to fly into the air. There was another round of chaos, and then the ground was cleared. How annoying, Lin Miaomiao was so frustrated that she wanted to punch someone, but unfortunately she didn't have the ability to do so now, and instead she was beaten up. Without a large group of obstacles, Yi Hongwen didn't bother to conserve his strength. The black mecha flashed and rushed towards Xiaoya, and punched her directly, hitting Xiaoya's cockpit. It turned out that Xiaoya didn't receive Lin Miaomiao's order to stop and was still trying to roll. Lin Miaomiao didn't care when she saw the black mecha's fist coming at her. She thought the speed of rolling would be faster than the speed of the punch. However, she didn't expect Yi Hongwen to calculate the speed and direction of Xiaoya's rolling and slightly deviate the direction before punching. So, Lin Miaomiao experienced a feeling of being crushed. Chapter 61 The Tumbling Goddess. Yi Hongwen showed no mercy, pummeling Lin Miaomiao with punches and kicks for 10 minutes, stopping only when he felt better. Despite being beaten to pulp, Lin Miaomiao refused to surrender. After all, as the goddess of the mecha department, she had to maintain a commanding and unyielding spirit, otherwise, it would be humiliating. Unbeknownst to Lin Miaomiao, who was bragging about being fat, the students in Class 2A, having witnessed her agile and shrewd fighting style, had already decided to give her a new, recognizable nickname, the Tumbling Goddess. The students, after being alerted, were finally safe in the air and could finally resume watching the show, or rather, the mecha battles, even though it was Teacher Yi who was unilaterally torturing the students. Recalling the panicked evasion and the numerous collisions, the students connected to the Class 2A public channel to chat. Why is Lin Miaomiao's fighting style completely different from before she was injured? Classmate A said. Would she always prefer taking a punch to ordering her mech to roll away? Rolling on the ground during mech battles wasn't uncommon, but the original owner had always been aloof and considered rolling on the ground humiliating. During battles, he'd rather be hit than roll. People change, classmate B said wistfully, his face burning at the thought of his previous mistake. That's true. Lin Miaomiao has changed a lot recently. Although she still looks aloof, she's become more approachable than before, classmate C agreed. I wonder if she's got something wrong with her. Hey, don't go too far, Liu Kaoyer said, running over to defend her friend. Miaomiao may have a cold personality, but she's a nice person. She's just a bit expressionless and doesn't know how to get along with others. It's what people often say, cold on the outside, warm on the inside. In the past, Liu Kaoyer's words would have been booed, but now most of the classmates believed her, because Lin Miaomiao's performance today was truly astonishing. I think I was scared by the aloof goddess today, classmate Ying said quietly. I bumped into people 3 times in a row just now, and I almost got bumped 5 times. Many classmates agreed with this statement. After all, there were quite a few people who had bumped into each other, and some people were not paying attention and even bumped into the wall. However, some objected, actually, that's not Lin Miaomiao's fault. It's your slow reaction, that's why I didn't bump into you. Liu Kaoyer, delighted to see someone speaking up for her friend, chimed in, that's right. I can't usually beat you guys, but I was fine just now. More and more people began to excuse Lin Miaomiao's behavior, which only made some classmates angry. Okay, let's just treat it as training, classmate Ying sighed. But don't you think Lin Miaomiao's aloof nickname should be changed? Someone asked. To what? Classmate Ying said triumphantly. Didn't Kaoyer say that Lin Miaomiao is actually cold on the outside but warm on the inside? Then the aloof goddess doesn't fit. And with that non-stop tumbling just now, I suggest calling her the Tumbling Goddess. Good idea, the classmates chorused. You guys are going too far, Liu Kaoyer roared. How could such a nickname be applied to the beautiful Lin Miaomiao? Lin Miaomiao, who had just finished being tortured and climbed into the public channel, heard Liu Kaoyer's roar and instinctively asked, what's too much? The public channel instantly went silent, and everyone thought in unison, damn it, Lin Miaomiao never enters the public channel. It turned out that after Yi Hongwen had tortured Lin Miaomiao, the classmates were so engrossed in chatting in mid-air that they had completely forgotten to land. Lin Miaomiao found it strange and wanted to ask Liu Kaoyer what was going on. After opening the communication channel inside the mecha, Lin Miaomiao immediately saw the public channel flashing and curiously clicked on it. Liu Kaoyer chuckled and said with a hint of guilt, it's okay. Miaomiao, how are you feeling? Do you want to rest for a while? Lin Miaomiao, sitting in the mecha, took advantage of her expression, which was invisible to others. Hearing her friend's question, she pouted and said, I feel a little dizzy. I won't practice this class. I'll sit in the mecha for a while. Oh, then you'll rest well. We'll go to training first. Liu Kaoyan made a quick decision. Seeing the mechas descend and begin training, and the public channel silent, Lin Miaomiao's mood deepened. Was she some monstrous creature? Everyone had fled. Well, they were all guilty. The sudden appearance of the gossip-mongering idiot had frightened everyone, but from that class on, Lin Miaomiao's new title officially took hold. After class, the devastated Lin Miaomiao nearly felt the urge to get out of class, but thinking about her study schedule, she tearfully continued. The second period was physical training. Lin Miaomiao ignored Liu Kaoyan, who approached, wanting to speak but hesitated, and stood for the entire class in the 6-fold pressure chamber, feeling dejected. She didn't want to move now and decided to rest, even though being in the pressure chamber was exhausting. At noon, Lin Miaomiao finally finished her classes and returned home. As usual, she was about to run to the kitchen, but paused. She decided not to cook today. After all, someone had just outmaneuvered her. To express her indignation and frustration, one of the striking women bought 2 bottles of the lowest grade, original nutritional supplements and had them delivered to Yi Hongwen. She also sent a text message, "I'm tired today, so I won't serve you lunch or dinner." After sending the text, Lin Miaomiao, as if triumphant, commanded the young woman, "You'll make lunch for 4 people today." The young woman obediently went into the kitchen to cook. Lin Miaomiao didn't do anything else after giving the order, but slumped onto the soft sofa. She just wanted to lie down and wait for dinner. In the teacher's dormitory, Yi Hongwen was holding the nutritional supplements he had just received, feeling a bit amused and helpless. Was this a form of retaliation? Jin Hao, who had followed Yi Hongwen and was about to get some food for free, was also dumbfounded. "Is this your lunch today? Is your cook on strike?" Ever since he went to Lin Miaomiao's house with Yi Hongwen for a hot pot, Jin Hao has been deeply attracted to food. He would go to Yi Hongwen's dormitory on time every day to get some food. Fortunately, the food Lin Miaomiao delivered was always sufficient, so Yi Hongwen did not force him to leave. "No," Yi Hongwen said coldly. Jin Hao patted his chest and said with relief, "Then I'm relieved. When will your lunch come?" "I'm starving." Yi Hongwen glanced at him and explained unhappily, "What I mean is that these 2 nutritional supplements are not just lunch, but also dinner." Jin Hao. Does that mean he can't have delicious meals for both meals? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62 Final Exam. The long-awaited winter break is almost here. While Lin Miaomiao is thrilled, she must bravely face the challenges that come with it, final exams. As a student in the Mecha department, exams are divided into 2 categories: academic exams, covering 5 subjects, interstellar history, Mecha history, interstellar geography, advanced mathematics, and Chinese, and practical training, covering 3 subjects, Mecha practicals, mental control, and physical training. As for the electives, they had all been completed a few days ago. Lin Miaomiao didn't have any electives, but she had been cramming for freshman and sophomore year knowledge. It wasn't that Lin Miaomiao's tutoring progress was amazing, having mastered everything the original owner had learned in just a few months. Rather, after learning that there were also so-called final exams here, she decided to adjust her tutoring schedule and pick up the necessary college lessons first. Of course, not every course can be skipped to the advanced level without a solid foundation, least of all advanced mathematics. To achieve a comprehensive understanding, Lin Miaomiao had to memorize the other academic subjects by rote, effectively starting at the elementary level. The 8 courses took 4 days to complete, with academic subjects taking place first. The first day's exams covered interstellar history and geography, while the second covered Mecha history and Chinese. The first 2 days went smoothly. Lin Miaomiao, with her excellent memory, filled out the papers completely. As for the results, she said, "I'm sure I'll get good grades in interstellar history, geography, and Mecha history." As for Chinese, the result of what she'd initially thought was a simple course was a bit uncertain. It wasn't her inefficient tutoring, it was simply an exam, and they even touched on lower grade material. It was fine for elementary and middle school, but she hadn't had time to learn high school material. The Chinese exam was also quite challenging, The essay accounted for a full 50 out of 100 points. The topic was even more challenging. Please write a 5,000-word essay on your favorite martial, with no restrictions on the subject. The moment she saw the essay topic, Lin Miaomiao felt her life was truly dark. She'd been here for 5 months, busy with tutoring and subtly improving her relationships. How could she have cared less about how many marshals there were in the Federation and what their names were? Fortunately, Lin Miaomiao finally remembered the name of one marshal, even though she didn't particularly like him, Zhang Heibo's father, Zhang Zhanhu. From the morning of the third day, Lin Miaomiao faced a difficult battle. First, math, such a profound subject. Even though she'd taken every course from elementary school to the first half of her sophomore year and paid a fortune for a regular tutor, she hadn't done many problems and wasn't impressed. Fortunately, the math section was heavy with multiple choice questions, and even with a bit of guesswork, Lin Miaomiao managed to finish it all. However, for some of the more complex questions, she'd had familiar answers before, while for others, she couldn't even remember the formulas. Lin Miaomiao finally realized that, whether in the 21st century or here, she hated math class. Absolutely. At 2 p.m., the physical fitness test was scheduled. Lin Miaomiao prepared a delicious and nutritious lunch, ate her fill, and then went to sleep. Ready to stay fully energized for the exam, the twins also had to take the test, so Lin Miaomiao added their portions. Ye Hongwen also received a package, but Lin Jingtao was the only one left. Lin Miaomiao decided to suspend his lunch during the exam, claiming that the students were the most important. As for why Ye Hongwen's lunch wasn't suspended, Lin Miaomiao could only tell him with a sullen face, because he gives me 20,000 credits every month for food. Lin Jingtao was shocked. So, he's been supporting the four of us, technically, yes, Lin Miaomiao answered seriously. This time, Lin Jingtao was completely convinced. Although teachers have a stable job, with a salary of 50,000 or 60,000 yuan per month, the expenses are also high. Food, clothing, and entertainment all cost money, leaving little left over from his monthly salary. Lin Jingtao consoled himself, the exam was only 2 days away, so he could just bear it and it would pass. Free meals were what mattered. At 1:50, Lin Miaomiao stepped into the examination room, which was actually the physical training room. Lin Miaomiao was very confident about the physical fitness test. After all, she had trained with Lin Yuquan for several months. In addition, the original owner's physical fitness was already quite good. Few of her classmates could do better than her, and the passing standard for the sophomore exam was only a D+. Lin Miaomiao felt relieved, but as soon as she stepped into the physical training building, she encountered many people with sad faces. Even the usually carefree Liu Kaoyer had a bitter face. What's wrong? Lin Miaomiao asked with concern. Liu Kaoyer said with a sad face, Miaomiao, don't you have to worry? The academic subjects are not particularly important, but if you don't do well in the last 3 subjects, you will be doomed. Lin Miaomiao was speechless. I remember that you passed the D+ in physical fitness not long ago. You will definitely pass this exam. What's the use of just passing? Liu Kaoyer said worriedly. Don't you have to retake the exam if you pass? Lin Miaomiao was a little surprised. For her, as long as she didn't fail any courses this semester, she would be thankful. Hearing Lin Miaomiao's words, Liu Kaoyer was a little amused. Practical courses are different from academic courses. Academic courses have the opportunity to retake, but practical courses are different. If you don't meet the physical fitness standards, you will still have difficulty meeting the standards in the retake in a few days. Therefore, there is no retake option for the 3 practical courses. If you fail, and you will retake the exam next semester. If you fail again, you will be expelled, especially in the 2 critical subjects of physical fitness and mental control. Liu Kaoyer spilled all this information, and Lin Miaomiao looked at her in confusion. I'm telling you that you'll pass, no problem. It's nothing about not being able to retake the exam, you're talking too much nonsense. Liu Kaoyer froze. She seemed to have strayed off topic, so she decided to get back on track. We're an elite class. If our test scores aren't as good as the regular class, we'll be ridiculed, so that was the key point, Lin Miaomiao thought. But wouldn't her grades be glaring when they came out? She wouldn't be able to perform at the level of the original owner. What should she do? Lin Miaomiao felt anxious. After the first semester of freshman year, many of my classmates slacked off, and the grades dropped. As a result, they were ridiculed for the entire next semester. I'm still haunted by it, Liu Cao complained. Fortunately, everyone learned their lesson and trained hard in the second semester, finally venting their anger on the final exam. What are you afraid of? I see everyone's been working hard this semester. Few in the regular class even got a D+ in physical fitness, Lin Miaomiao thought, believing their worries were just unnecessary. Liu Cao was speechless. It seemed that this was true, but she was still very nervous. What should she do? Chapter 63 Final Exam, Part 2. No matter how Lin Miaomiao tried to comfort her, Liu Cao remained nervous. Being laughed at was deeply irritating, and as a member of the elite class, she was incredibly proud. And it wasn't just Liu Cao, most students in the elite class aspired to ace the test. What boy or girl wasn't vain? It turns out elite students also worry about success and failure, Lin Miaomiao lamented. Normally, when facing students from the regular class, everyone seemed so confident. Lin Miaomiao's eyes suddenly lit up. Perhaps this was a good opportunity to hide her lack of skill. Cao, Lin Miaomiao called out. Liu Cao responded absent-mindedly, assuming Lin Miaomiao was still trying to find a way to comfort her. She gratefully said, Miaomiao, thank you for your comfort. I'll work on my mental state, Lin Miaomiao grumbled to herself, not intending to continue comforting her, but said seriously, actually, I think you're so nervous right now, you're just bored. What? Liu Cao couldn't believe her ears. That wasn't comfort at all. The nervous classmates around her also felt like they had been stabbed in the knee, and they all felt sick. What on earth did the goddess mean? She was mocking her classmates at this critical moment. Seeing that she had angered everyone, Lin Miaomiao hurriedly explained, one test score doesn't mean anything. I remember that the students in my class all have good living conditions, while some students in the ordinary class with good grades have families that are in some difficulties. They can't even afford their own mechas. Why should we bother to fight for those scholarships? Lin Miaomiao rarely spoke at length, and everyone found her words very reasonable, and they felt a real sense of relief. Miaomiao, you are so kind. Liu Cao finally felt comforted, and a smile appeared on her face. I'll just pass the test today. Lin Miaomiao was also very happy. She finally found an excuse for her bad grades. Not far away, a young man with black hair and blue eyes couldn't help but burst out laughing. He turned to his companions and said, I didn't expect our class goddess to be so interesting. She's even capable of deceiving people. If everyone believed her, I'm afraid Teacher Yi would cry. What do you think, Zhu Chen? The elite class's poor grades meant that Yu Hongwen, the head teacher, would be invited to tea by the principal. You're overthinking it, Zhu Chen said with a gentle smile. Teacher Yi won't care. Zhu Chen had accidentally seen Teacher Yi submit her resignation, but the principal hadn't approved it. If the elite class's grades declined, Teacher Yi might use it as a good excuse to resign. No way, Yu Zixin exclaimed. Zhu Chen, you're not going to fall for her lies and just pass the exam, are you? Zhu Chen continued to smile gently, but remained silent. Yu Zixin understood his meaning and suddenly felt the urge to ask the heavens, Zhu Chen, have you forgotten that you're the head of the class? If you fail the exam, you'll be severely punished by the teachers. The exams were about to begin, and Lin Miaomiao was curious about the format. Milulin was wealthy, and the training room was enormous, usually more than enough for a single class. But how could they possibly have so much training equipment for several classes taking the exam together? Could the exams be staggered? Lin Miaomiao wondered as she followed Liu Cao and a dozen or so classmates into the elevator. Liu Cao quickly pressed the button, and Lin Miaomiao was surprised to find they were heading to the top floor. Lin Miaomiao rarely went to the top floor for physical training, as it lacked any training equipment, just an empty room. She had once complained that leaving an entire floor empty was a waste. Today, the top floor was different. It was no longer empty, but instead filled with rows of white single beds, some already occupied by students. Each student wore a helmet, which Lin Miaomiao knew was a simple star net connector. Liu Cao dragged Lin Miaomiao to two empty beds in the Class 2A gathering area. Then, she picked up the connector provided on the bed and prepared to connect to the star net. Seeing Lin Miaomiao still looking around, she was amused. Miaomiao, hurry up. The exam's about to start, Liu Cao urged. Oh, Lin Miaomiao replied with a blank expression, then laid down and put on her spyglasses. She wondered, Why don't they have a sheet? It would be too embarrassing to just lie there with so many people watching. Well, she understood the school's lack of sheets. If rows of white single beds were filled with people covered with sheets, their faces obscured, wouldn't it look like a morgue? As her thoughts wandered, Lin Miaomiao appeared in a small room with a single large teleportation window. People kept appearing and disappearing through it. This didn't seem like the Star Network. Curious, Lin Miaomiao looked around before someone grabbed her hand and dragged her toward the window. She instinctively tried to break free, but upon closer inspection, it was Liu Kai'er. Seeing Lin Miaomiao log in and not rushing to the exam, she was actually looking around. Frustrated, Liu Kai'er decided to just drag her away to avoid any more nonsense. They lined up in front of the window. When it was their turn, Lin Miaomiao saw 3 options appear on the screen: physical training, mental control field, and mecha operation field. Liu Kai'er did not let go of Lin Miaomiao's hand, but simply chose physical training, then entered her own student's number and Lin Miaomiao's as well. Then, a flash of white light appeared and the two of them appeared in a lecture hall. "Why are you so slow? The exam room is about to close," Fang Liqin complained as she walked over. Liu Kai'er smiled indifferently. "Aren't we catching up?" As she spoke, the 2 invigilators had already walked in. "Everyone, be quiet. Let me explain the exam procedures," said the older invigilator. This physical fitness exam consists of 2 parts. I'll be invigilating the first, the stress test. Students will pass if they can stay in the quadruple pressure chamber for half an hour, and get full marks if they can stay in it for an hour. Another invigilator, smiling, added, "The second part, the physical strength and endurance test, is also my responsibility. Students will first do 200 push-ups, then 500-meter frog jumps, and finally a 10,000-meter treadmill run. If you can complete this in under an hour, you'll pass, and if you can complete it in half an hour, you'll get full marks." The 2 invigilators began to observe the students' reactions. Seeing everyone's composure, the invigilators expressed their satisfaction. "You're truly the elite class, you're so confident." In reality, everyone was thinking, it's wrong to snatch the bonus from students in need. "We just need to pass." So began the joyful physical fitness exam. Class 2A passed within the allotted time, achieving a passing score for all. "Congratulations," the invigilator said. "Flip the table. Why didn't even one of us get a perfect score?" Chapter 64 Final Exam, Part 3. Having passed the physical fitness test successfully, the next test was the mental control test. With the physical fitness test as an example, Lin Miaomiao first checked the school network to see the exam formats for the remaining 2 subjects. The mental control test was extremely simple, just like normal training. A 2-star maze with 200 dots appeared in the air above the virtual exam room. Lighting up all of them within 20 minutes was a pass, and lighting up within 10 minutes was a full score. The mecha operation test was a bit more confusing. It was said that each student uploaded their mecha practice data to the virtual network, then drew lots with the invigilator. Whichever one they drew would be the subject of the exam. The exam consisted of a variety of questions, including boxing, somersaults, swordplay, sparring with the examiner, and even mecha dances. It's worth noting that the virtual space used for the exam was independently established by the Lin 1st Military Academy, primarily to provide free practice space for students and also to serve as an exam venue during finals. Lin Miaomiao passed the mind control exam with flying colors. Perhaps because her previous owner's mind power had once reached sea level, she had successfully upgraded to D+ a few days earlier, so passing the exam was no problem. To Lin Miaomiao's surprise, her casual words seemed to have unprecedented success. Many classmates smiled after the exam and said they had only passed. Even Zhu Chen, the head of the grade, smiled gently and said he had passed. Before the final exam, Lin Miaomiao uploaded Xiaoya's data to the school's virtual network and prayed for good luck in the lottery, hoping to get an easier task, like walking. However, luck didn't favor Lin Miaomiao. She was given the task of doing 50 mecha sit-ups. Upon seeing the test question, Lin Miaomiao wanted to flip the table over. How could a mecha do sit-ups when its back was so stiff? Because the mecha exams varied in content but didn't take too long, they were administered to the entire class in a rotating group in an empty room. To save time, students who drew the same question took the exam together. Once the exam began, Lin Miaomiao realized the test makers were incredibly talented. Some students got frog jumps, others got zombie runs, And still others got sweeping. Others, like dancing with a shaman, flying flies, and climbing geckos, were even more despairing. The students were all agonizing. How do you dance with a shaman? How do flies fly? What is a gecko? After going through each question, Lin Miaomiao realized this wasn't really an exam at all, but a performance art test. Lin Miaomiao finally felt a little relieved. Thankfully, she didn't have to embarrass herself alone. Soon, the invigilator called out the mecha sit-ups. Lin Miaomiao piloted the mecha to the center of the exam room, but when she turned around, she realized she was the only one left. She was immediately embarrassed. How could she be so unlucky? No matter how reluctant she was, the exam had to continue. Lin Miaomiao closed her eyes, stamped her foot, and instructed Xiaoya to lie down on the ground and start doing mecha sit-ups. Sit-ups are just getting up and lying down, so simple. So Lin Miaomiao's exam mecha sit-ups turned into mecha convulsion sit-ups, and Lin Miaomiao herself couldn't help but cover her eyes. The mecha was very fast, and 200 sit-ups were completed in less than half an hour. Fortunately, even if it was a convulsion, the invigilator was kind enough to give her a passing grade. Lin Miaomiao finally breathed a sigh of relief and selectively ignored the invigilator's smiling face. The exam was still going on. Lin Miaomiao had completed her task and began to pay attention to other things. Seeing that the class public channel was constantly flashing, Lin Miaomiao suddenly had the urge to go in and eavesdrop. She always felt that someone had said something bad about her last time, otherwise why would they disperse when they saw her? Lin Miaomiao thought for 2 seconds and decisively answered the call. Then Lin Miaomiao heard a sentence that made her vomit blood. Oh, why do I feel like Lin Miaomiao is getting more and more adorable? She's got this expressionless face all day, but she always does something unexpected. Those sit-ups just now were amazing. The voice sounded familiar, and Lin Miaomiao quickly zeroed in on Feng Liqin, who lately would often chat with Liu Kanier. The tumbling goddess is always different, silly and cute, a vibrant male voice said. Immediately, a warm and pleasant male voice chided, Zixin, didn't I tell you not to give people random nicknames? Oh, Zuchen, you're such a fool. Everyone thinks it's good, but you're the only one who objects, Zixin complained. Doesn't tumbling goddess sound funny? Funny, Lin Miaomiao raged. Zixin, right? She remembered there was only one person named Zixin in the class. She'd save that for now, and she'd have the chance to settle it later. Tumbling goddess, that's so unpleasant. She'd be better off just being the aloof goddess. Tears welled up in Lin Miaomiao's heart. For a girl, it would be very uncomfortable to have such a nickname. Don't you know how to consider other people's feelings? Zhu Chen's voice became a little stern. It's not that serious. Zixin was scared. Why not? Don't you know that an ugly nickname will leave a psychological shadow on people? Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but retort. How could such a messed up title fall on the head of a goddess like her? It was like turning the table over. Hearing that it was a female voice who refuted, Zixin's courage came back. Except for Zhu Chen, no one could dare to stand in front of him. Zixin was full of confidence. Just when he was about to open his mouth to fight, he heard his friend Zhu Chen speak again. Zhu Chen said, don't be angry, classmate Lin Miaomiao. I will definitely educate Zixin well. Are you his elder? Lin Miaomiao was a little confused when she heard it, so she asked casually. No, we are just good friends who grew up together, Zhu Chen replied. Oh, so we are childhood sweethearts. Lin Miaomiao felt that she had seen the truth. This, Zhu Chen, usually gentle and good-tempered, felt completely upset. He now somewhat agreed with Zixin's words. Lin Miaomiao was truly silly and adorable. Surprisingly, the eccentric Zixin didn't say anything in rebuttal, as if tacitly agreeing, and so the students in Class 2A also understood. I wish you all the best. The girl who had once handed Zhu Chen a little love letter burst into tears and left the channel. If you hid something so important, how can we still be happy friends? The classmates who were close friends with Zhu Chen and Zixin also laughed angrily. Lin Miaomiao suddenly felt a little sad. Why did the channel clear again after she spoke? Hey, why did everyone leave? We were chatting happily just now, Zixin, who had just returned from an exam, asked in surprise. What happened to them? Zixin was also unlucky. He was about to argue with a girl who had bravely raised his opinion, but just then he heard the invigilator call him to take the exam. Then again, Why did Yu Zixin feel that the cold yet pleasant female voice just now sounded familiar? They heard that we were together, and then they left, Zhu Chen replied word by word. Yu Zixin, what the hell is this? Chapter 65, Man's Tears. Yu Zixin never expected that just minutes after returning from an exam, he'd already found someone involved. And that someone was Zhu Chen. And the culprit behind all this was Lin Miaomiao. Thinking of Zhu Chen, seemingly warm and friendly, coaxing his parents into submission, yet secretly driving him to tears, and sharing this good news with such a two-faced person, Yu Zixin couldn't help but burst into tears. It was just a title, wasn't it? If you don't like it, just change it. Why would you have to be so deceiving? Actually, it was a misunderstanding, Yu Zixin tried to explain. Zhu Chen and I are innocent. Oh, I see, Lin Miaomiao replied coolly. Innocent or not, what did it have to do with her? She'd just said it casually. Yu Zixin was overjoyed. Then shouldn't you explain to everyone on our behalf? What to explain? Lin Miaomiao was puzzled. Of course, explain that Zhu Chen and I are just ordinary friends, Yu Zixin said eagerly. What's your relationship is none of my business, Lin Miaomiao thought, feeling that Yu Zixin was a bit baffled. They weren't close, and she didn't want him to think she was trying to be a third party. But didn't you say that? Yu Zixin was furious. Lin Miaomiao refused to take the blame. It's none of my business. I just said it casually, and you all believed it because you didn't refute it, but I just took the exam. Yu Zixin felt innocent. Did anyone hear the invigilator call his name? Did Zhu Chen agree to it? Lin Miaomiao was impatient. She didn't care whether they were together or not. I'm leaving first. Students who had finished their exams didn't have to wait here. After the Mecha operation exam, the school officially went on winter vacation, so some students left first and had to pack up and go home. Lin Miaomiao left without hesitation, but Yu Zixin burst into tears. If this got out, how would he ever pick up girls in the future? Zhu Chen, Yu Zixin shouted with gritted teeth, why don't you explain? Even if I explain, no one will believe me. It's just a waste of effort. Zhu Chen was also very unhappy. Whoever wants to be with this idiot will lower his IQ? Okay. That needs to be explained. Yu Zixin flipped the table. Since you said so, then this task is handed over to you, Zhu Chen said stiffly. After speaking, Zhu Chen ran away. He had finished the exam a long time ago. The reason why he didn't leave was that he wanted to wait for Yu Zixin to go home together. After all, the two families were neighbors. They grew up together and it would be unreasonable not to go home together. But he changed his mind now. Yu Zixin was dumbfounded. How could Zhu Chen leave without waiting for him? Forget it. Anyway, the exam is over. It's better to go downstairs and pack up and go home early. He should have packed last night, but Yu Zixin was lazy. Feeling upset, Yu Zixin returned to the dormitory and packed his things. As usual, he went to find Zhu Chen to go home together, but Zhu Chen's roommate told him he had already left. Seeing Zhu Chen's curious and gossipy eyes, Yu Zixin cried inwardly. I'm cursing you, you ungrateful person, Yu Zixin cursed him mentally. And that person, with a ruthless heart, had taken him to task for such a trivial matter. Abandoned by his friends, Yu Zixin could only journey home alone. However, upon leaving the dormitory, he realized something even more important had been overlooked. He didn't have a car. Yu Zixin had plenty of money. His monthly allowance was tens of thousands of credits, and his metro was a gift from his family. He could apply for maintenance and repairs separately. Logically, he should have saved enough for a speedster long ago. Yu Zixin, on the other hand, was a spendthrift. He couldn't help but spend his monthly allowance as soon as it arrived, spending it all in a matter of days. Luckily, with Zhu Chen around, he didn't need to buy a car. But now that Zhu Chen had left on his own, Yu Zixin was in dire straits. Feeling dejected, Yu Zixin took the free campus bus to the school gate. As he reached the platform to catch his car home, he saw a familiar pink car slowly pass the station, and his eyes narrowed. Yu Zixin knew who it belonged to, so he stopped it without hesitation. A public car couldn't compare to a private one, especially since the Lin family lived in the same neighborhood as him. The car pulled over, and Yu Zixin realized that not only Lin Miaomiao was on board, but also the Lin family's equally gifted twins. He didn't mind opening the back door and getting in as if it were his normal routine. Hey, why didn't Brother Zixin go back with Brother Chen today? Lin Xianshan asked in surprise. Yu Zixin glanced at Lin Miaomiao with resentment. Then you have to ask your sister. They actually knew each other. Lin Miaomiao was surprised, but then she understood. Yu Zixin was from the Yu family not far from the Lin family's old house. However, she didn't think his affairs had anything to do with her, so she fiddled with the communicator and pretended not to hear. Lin Miaomiao had a good plan, but unfortunately Lin Xianshan didn't know about it. She poked Lin Miaomiao on the back and asked, "Sister, why didn't Brother Zixin go back with Brother Chen? Whose family is this unlucky kid?" Lin Miaomiao felt her teeth itching, and turned back to glare at Lin Xianshan with a wooden face. "What does it have to do with me if they quarreled? I told you we are not a couple." Yu Zixin was so anxious that he jumped up and down. "Huh? Brother Zixin and Brother Chen are a couple?" Lin Xianshan was surprised. Even the steady-looking Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but speak. "You are finally together." When Lin Miaomiao said this, everyone was a little stunned. The two words finally seemed a little subtle. "Miaomiao, what nonsense are you talking about? How could Zhu Chen and I possibly be together?" Yu Zixin roared, glaring at Lin Miaomiao fiercely. "It was all this guy's fault." "Why not?" Lin Miaomiao said, a little curious. "I don't think Zhu Chen objects." "I didn't even hear him try to clarify," Yu Zixin retorted. He was so angry that he forgot to clarify. "Are you sure?" Lin Miaomiao asked calmly. Could someone capable of becoming the head of the grade be so infuriated by her? Lin Miaomiao said it was absolutely impossible. In her opinion, Zhu Chen's lack of objection was a sign of his intention, but Yu Zixin was too slow to notice. Perhaps Zhu Chen simply wanted to use this opportunity to make things clear. Yu Zixin had no idea what Lin Miaomiao was thinking. He answered confidently, "Of course I am sure." He even gave me the task of clarifying it. Now Lin Miaomiao understood. Since Zhu Chen personally clarified this matter, some people will definitely believe it, but if it were you, although Lin Miaomiao didn't finish her words, Yu Zixin understood what she meant. He subconsciously wanted to refute, but fell silent. Why did he also start to feel that something was wrong with Zhu Chen? No, Yu Zixin was crying because of his stupidity. What was he thinking? Zhu Chen was obviously a good brother and a good friend. There was no way he was interested in him. Chapter 66 Big Brother. After Yu Zixin's slap, the car fell silent. Lin Miaomiao didn't bother to intervene, but the twins felt Brother Zixin had been irritated, so it was best not to mess with him. Fortunately, the car was moving quickly, and the awkward moment only lasted 2 hours. First, they arrived at the Lin family compound. Lin Miaomiao and the others greeted Yu Zixin and exited the car. Since the Yu residence was still some distance away, Lin Miaomiao asked Lolly to take him back. Yu Zixin didn't hesitate, and confidently instructed Lolly to set off. Only Yi was left in the Lin family compound. Clearly delighted to see the young master's return, Yi busied herself with serving tea, water, and snacks. Lin Miaomiao and the other two were almost overwhelmed by the enthusiasm. Finally, Lin Miaomiao had to intervene. "Yi, we're not hungry. Stop bringing us snacks." Looking at the overflowing coffee table, Lin Miaomiao felt incredibly full, so she didn't even touch it. The twins, however, were kind enough to eat a few pieces out of Yi's courtesy. It was almost time for dinner, so Lin Miaomiao asked Yi if anyone else would be home that evening. After learning that Lin's father and Lin Xianhao were both home, she decided to cook a feast. After all, her eldest brother had never tasted her cooking. Speaking of which, the eldest brother of the Lin family was quite a peculiar individual. He had graduated from the mecha manufacturing department and was now a level 3 armorer, but he had gone to the central court to work as a mecha engineer under a pseudonym, a typical example of a career gone awry. At 6 o'clock sharp, Lin Miaomiao was busy cooking in the kitchen when Lin Xianhao and Lin Yuhei, father and son, got out of the car at the door one after the other. Lin Yuhei was quite surprised to see his son at the gate. "How come you're free to come back today?" Lin Xianhao's mouth twitched. "The captain said there were no missions recently and he thought we were just freeloaders, so he sent us all back, leaving only a few comrades without relatives to guard the base. Is your Shenai fleet so poor?" Lin Yuhei was speechless. "I think you'd better change your location as soon as possible. Changing fleets will only make me an armorer. I might as well stay in Shenai." Lin Xianhao didn't want to be an armorer. Piloting a metro was more fun. Lin Yuhei was just giving advice. Seeing that his son didn't listen, he didn't care. He was an open-minded father and would not interfere with his children's choices. Entering the living room, Yi quickly appeared before the father and son. Before Yi could express her welcome, Lin Yuhe preemptively asked, "Is Miaomiao back?" Yi's electronic eyes flickered, and after a long pause, she replied, "Miss Miaomiao has returned and is in the kitchen." Turning to Lin Xianhao, she said, "Welcome home, young master." As a senior intelligent butler, Yi was always enthusiastic towards members who hadn't been home for a while. After delivering her welcome speech, she began serving tea and snacks to Lin Xianhao. Lin Yuhe, feeling ignored, could hardly maintain his serious expression. Lin Miaomiao was in the kitchen, and the father and son didn't intend to disturb her, so they sat in the living room waiting for her to finish. Half an hour later, Lin Miaomiao entered the dining room carrying 2 plates of food. Looking through the living room door, she saw the father and son sitting on the sofa, looking very happy. Everyone was there, and it was time to eat. "Dinner is ready," Lin Miaomiao called out to the door, and then asked Yi to call the twins downstairs to eat. Once everyone was seated at the table, they exchanged greetings and began to eat. Unaware of Lin's father and Lin Xianhao's preferences, Lin Miaomiao prepared pan-fried baby fish, boiled shrimp, sliced pork with hot pot, stir-fried beef, braised pork with preserved vegetables, shredded cabbage, and yam and pork rib soup. Lin Xianhao was stunned when he sat down at the table, but was pleasantly surprised once he started eating. He had heard that his younger sister had learned to cook and was quite skilled, but he hadn't expected her to be this skilled. "Little sister, after you graduate, do you want to be a chef in our fleet?" Lin Xianhao said with a smile. "No," Lin Miaomiao declined awkwardly, "I'm only a sophomore." Lin Xianhao didn't mind the girl's refusal. "It's okay, our captain won't mind waiting 2 more years. Good chefs are hard to come by, especially those who can fly mechas." Lin Xianhao knew the captain had long despised the fleet's chefs for only being able to cook. With his eldest brother saying so, Lin Miaomiao felt a bit embarrassed to refuse. Constantly rejecting his brother's kindness was too hurtful, so he looked to his father for help. Father Lin was very understanding and immediately reprimanded his son. "What nonsense are you talking about? Your sister is an outstanding student in the mecha department. Why would she choose to join your crappy fleet? Our fleet is not broken," Lin Xianhao protested. After receiving his father's yearning look, he quietly admitted, "We're just a little poor." "How poor is a little poor?" Lin Miaomiao asked curiously. "It's just that the base is a little out of the way, the mecha equipment is a little inferior, and the salary is a little low. It's not a big deal." Lin Xianhao described it as lightly as possible. "Brother, stop talking nonsense." Lin Yin couldn't bear it any longer. "Everyone knows that the Shenyu fleet, while called a fleet, is actually just an interstellar battleship and several interstellar transports. Their job is to clean up battlefields, and they often withhold their wages." Lin Miaomiao was visibly upset. "Just a little bit of poverty? Cleaning up battlefields is like picking up trash." She wouldn't go. Lin Xianhao, ruthlessly exposed by his cousin, was unhappy. "What do you mean by cleaning up battlefields? We're confirming the battle losses and protecting the evacuation of other fleets. The battle's over. What's the point of evacuating?" Lin Yuhe swore, a rare outburst of insult. Lin Xianhao was instantly struck by a resounding blow. He felt a sharp pain in his chest, but he still defended himself. "This is only temporary. The people in our fleet are all geniuses. One day, we'll become the Federation's premier fleet." "Oh, good job," Lin's father replied perfunctorily, returning to his meal. The twins and Lin Miaomiao remained silent. With delicious food before them, who had time to worry about things that they didn't know when they would be realized? After delivering his grandiose speech, Lin Xianhao gazed at the others with a mournful expression for a long moment, only to realize the food on the table was nearly gone. Did he let out a groan and join the others in their efforts to eat? By the end of the meal, Lin Xianhao was only half full, and could only complain bitterly. "You're going too far. I'm not even full. Let Yi bring you a few more dim sum plates," Lin Yuhe said calmly. "I'm tired of dim sum," Lin Xianhao protested, preferring his younger sister to cook him a little more. Lin Yuhe glanced at her son nonchalantly, saying, "Then don't eat. Just bear with it." "Am I really your biological child?" Lin Xianhao grumbled. He was simply worried about his younger sister, worried she'd get tired. "It's a shame you're my biological child," Lin Yuhe shook his head. "If it weren't for that, I would have thrown you back to planet recycling. You'd have chosen a mecha pilot over a decent armorer." and ended up in that shabby fleet that can't even afford food. Lin Miaomiao. Chapter 67, Raising an Army to Punish the Crime. Seeing her eldest brother and father about to argue, Lin Miaomiao wisely decided to leave. Before leaving the restaurant, Lin Miaomiao felt as if she had forgotten something. She pondered for a long time but couldn't figure it out. Just as she was about to give up, she glanced at Yi, who was clearing the table, and remembered that Luli had disappeared after delivering Yaozi's letter. The Yu residence wasn't far away, so Luli should have returned long ago and not gotten lost. She asked Yi, "Is Luli back?" Luli had never been to the Lin family mansion before and didn't have the right to come and go freely. If she did, she would have to knock before entering. Yi seemed to have been in and out of the kitchen several times, so he should know where Luli had been. And Yi knew exactly where Luli had been. "Miss Miaomiao, Luli is charging by the French window in the living room." Charging? Lin Miaomiao was a little surprised. Luli usually charged after 8 or 9 p.m. or when she was not home. Why was she so early today? But she didn't think much of it. Glad she's back, knowing Luli was not lost, Lin Miaomiao breathed a sigh of relief. "Sister, you are worrying for nothing. Loli is an intelligent housekeeper with high fighting power. How could she get lost?" Lin Xianshan laughed. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes at him and left the restaurant to go back to her room. Back in the room, Lin Miaomiao saw that the room was spotless without a trace of dust. The sheets and quilt covers were also different from before she left. Yi must have cleaned it in advance. She happily fell on the bed and rolled around. Having just finished the exam, Lin Miaomiao was planning to relax for a few days and continue with her tutoring after the results of the cultural subjects came out. Just when she was feeling relaxed, the communicator rang. Seeing the prompt, it turned out to be from Yi Hongwen. Lin Miaomiao hurriedly sat up and answered the video call. Lin Miaomiao quickly recovered her expressionless face. "Teacher Yi," he video called her right after the exam. Could it be that the results of the cultural subjects came out? Wasn't his efficiency too high? Yi Hongwen looked at Lin Miaomiao's messy hair and clothes in surprise, but he didn't warn her. He simply said coldly, "Lin, a classmate just video messaged me, saying you instigated your classmates to do poorly on the test before yesterday." Lin Miaomiao was stunned. She was doomed. Someone had actually come to complain. She didn't know who it was. If he knew who it was, he'd beat him up. Even if someone did, she wouldn't admit it. Lin Miaomiao calmly replied, "That's not true. Instigating my classmates to do poorly on the test wouldn't have done me any good." "Oh?" Yi Hongwen didn't say whether he believed it or not. He simply explained the test results. Aside from the academic subjects, which were all normal, the practical training results were disastrous. Disastrous wasn't an exaggeration. Class 2A, an elite class, hadn't even had a single student score full marks in all 3 practical courses. The highest score was only 80, and the lowest was 60. A quarter of the students hovered around 75, and 3/4 barely passed. No one failed. With such results, no one would believe they weren't intentional. So, after the results came out, the principal was furious and fell ill. Upon hearing the results, Lin Miaomiao wanted to cheer. She was truly relieved. Even if her test scores weren't ideal, everyone would just assume it was intentional. Unfortunately, facing Yi Hongwen's icy, handsome face, Lin Miaomiao couldn't show much excitement. The result of trying to suppress it was a slight grimace, and she said dryly, "Teacher Yi, my condolences." Yi Hongwen's eyes flickered, and with a hint of quirkiness, he said, "No need to express your condolences. It's not a bad thing for me anyway. It wasn't like anyone had died, so the word condolences wasn't appropriate." Besides, Yi Hongwen was actually quite satisfied with the elite class's results because he finally had the opportunity to resign, even if it was a resignation of his own accord. Before video chatting with Lin Miaomiao, Yi Hongwen had gone to the principal's office with the elite class's transcripts and a letter of resignation, threatening the reluctant principal, if he didn't approve, the elite class's grades for the next semester would be in jeopardy. The end result, naturally, was the principal's reluctant signature, releasing the student, and Yi Hongwen triumphed. So, the principal's illness wasn't solely due to the dismal report card, it was also closely linked to Yi Hongwen's threats. Lin Miaomiao, of course, was unaware of these events. She simply watched Yi Hongwen's moody expression, puzzled. She felt something was amiss with Teacher Yi. Sensing something was off, Lin Miaomiao instinctively wanted to end the video call. She politely asked, "Teacher Yi, are you okay?" Yi Hongwen was silent for a moment, then stiffly replied, "Where's my dinner?" Now it was Lin Miaomiao's turn to freeze. She'd been so excited about the holiday that she'd forgotten about it. There were no leftovers in the kitchen. After a moment's thought, she hesitantly asked, "Teacher Yi, should you have eaten?" She quickly replied, praying that she had. She didn't want to go back into the kitchen, or else she'd have feigned ignorance and run away when her brother said he wasn't full. However, things went against her will, and Lin Miaomiao didn't get the answer she wanted. "I just came back from the principal's office and found that dinner was not delivered." Yi Hongwen stared at Lin Miaomiao's messy hair with an expressionless face, and actually had the urge to reach out and smooth it. Forcing his wandering gaze back, Yi Hongwen quietly waited for the next step. Lin Miaomiao lowered her head and pouted secretly. It seemed that she had to go to the kitchen again. "I know. I will send it to Teacher Yi by express in a while." As soon as she finished speaking, Lin Miaomiao hung up the phone in a huff. It was just a meal that was not delivered. Is it necessary to make up for it? The free cook also has a temper. After being sulking alone for a while, Lin Miaomiao still went downstairs to prepare the meal. When she passed the living room, she saw her father and eldest brother were still there, so she decided to cook more. Her eldest brother said that he was not full just now. Because she was still angry, the free cook decided to only fry 2 dishes. One was bitter melon scrambled eggs, and the other was taro white belly, both of which were dishes that Yi Hongwen hated to eat. As for how Lin Miaomiao knew this, it was because someone was too picky and would send a text message as soon as he received a dish that didn't suit his taste. With Yi's help, the meal was ready in less than half an hour. After Lin Miaomiao packed up Yi Hongwen's portion and sent it away, she was just about to ask Lin Xianhao if he wanted to eat more when she saw a head popping out of the kitchen door. "Little sister, who are you delivering the delicious food to? Did you leave some for your brother?" Lin Xianhao asked with a grin. Lin Miaomiao glanced at the 2 dishes on the counter. This was asking knowingly, so she rolled her eyes at her brother. "Haha, didn't you just want to talk to me more?" Lin Xianhao argued, turned around and told Yi to bring the dishes to the table, while he went to serve the rice. "Alice," Lin Miaomiao sighed seriously. "How come this big brother is nothing like his father's temperament? Instead, he's as frivolous as his uncle." After lamenting her elder brother's eccentricity, Lin Miaomiao slowly walked out of the kitchen. After finishing her work, she decided to go back to sleep. She was very tired these days. Chapter 68. He's gone. In the teacher dormitory of the 1st Military Academy of Milulan, Yi Hongwen took out today's dinner, looked at the dishes in the thermos box, and couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth. This girl is not willing to suffer a loss. Jinhao came over excitedly and wailed, "Why is it that today it's either bitter melon or taro, none of which I like to eat? If you don't like it, don't eat it." Yi Hongwen glanced at Jinhao lightly. If the girl knew that he was not picky about food, she would be angry. Although Lin Miaomiao lowered her head quickly just now, Yi Hongwen still saw her pout. "No, if I don't eat it, it will be a bargain for you." "Don't think of eating it alone," Jinhao said righteously, picked up the chopsticks and forked a large chopstick of bitter melon. "Well, in fact, the bitter melon today doesn't seem to be very bitter. It's still barely edible. I don't know if I will have the chance to eat it again in the future." Jinhao sighed, looking at Yi Hongwen, who was leisurely eating. "Why are you in such a hurry to leave? I've been here for a year and a half, and I don't feel the slightest bit of reluctance." Reluctant. A small, expressionless yet still beautiful face suddenly appeared before Yi Hongwen's eyes, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. "I do feel a little reluctant. I'm afraid I won't be able to eat food like this again." While the military food was quite good, with both meat and vegetables, the chef's skills weren't great. After all, each unit had a fixed number of personnel, and who would reduce combat personnel just to satisfy their appetite? "If you leave, I won't be able to eat either," Jinhao grumbled. Perhaps he should find a way to befriend Lin Jingtao and occasionally get a free meal. Yi Hongwen glanced at him coldly, his face rather dismissive. "Why are you putting on such a show just because you stutter?" "I'd love to," Jinhao said confidently. "If you don't mind, then don't eat it. Leave it all to me, Yi Hongwen. This food should be his, right?" After the two of them scrambled to finish their late dinner, Yi Hongwen started to chase them away. He should have left tomorrow morning and had to pack up his things, so he didn't have time to pay attention to this idiot. Jinhao was a little reluctant. After all, we have been colleagues for a year and a half, so we should have some friendship. I'll stay and keep you company tonight. No thanks, I don't need someone to sleep with me, Yi Hongwen refused bluntly. Who wants to sleep with you? If anyone wants to sleep with me, it's with my girlfriend. Jinhao was furious. He just wanted to have a long talk all night long, so that he wouldn't have made such a friend in vain. Yi Hongwen certainly understood what Jinhao meant, but asking him to have a long talk with his friend all night long was an obvious joke, so he deliberately distorted Jinhao's meaning. Seeing Jinhao so excited, Yi Hongwen felt helpless. It's not like we won't see each other again, Yi Hongwen said, adding, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I have to visit an elder. This wasn't an excuse. Yi Hongwen had come here to teach at the elder's request, and now that he was leaving, he had to pay him a visit no matter what. Well, Jinhao reluctantly gave up on the idea of a long conversation. I told you you're stubborn. Why would you rush back to Shaolin Star if there was nothing urgent? You couldn't even hold a farewell party. Yi Hongwen remained silent with a cold face. Perhaps his heart wasn't here, so he hadn't made many friends, so a farewell party wouldn't be necessary. After seeing Jinhao off, Yi Hongwen flew off campus. The elder he was visiting lived in a villa complex off campus. Passing the Lin family villa, Yi Hongwen subconsciously glanced over. Seeing it dark and without a single light, he knew it was empty. And, after all, it was vacation time. The girl must have gone back to the Lin family mansion. Arriving at the destination, Yi Hongwen saw at a glance that the door was open. A middle-aged man-like robot butler was standing at the door waiting. Good evening, Mr. Yi, the robot butler greeted in a serious tone. Good evening, Tang Jiao, Yi Hongwen replied. Tang Jiao made way, the master is waiting for you inside. As he stepped into the door, Yi Hongwen frowned instantly. He saw an old man sitting on the sofa with a plate of crispy candies, eating heartily. Yi Hongwen strode over and snatched the plate. The doctor said the teacher should eat less sugar. What for? The old man whose plate was snatched away looked up in dissatisfaction, and suddenly said with a guilty conscience, Hongwen, why are you here? Didn't you know I was coming? Yi Hongwen looked at the old man suspiciously. It was so surprising. Why did Tang Jiao say that the teacher was waiting for him? His Hongyu felt guilty when he heard that. I heard that you resigned, so I thought you would definitely come to see me before you left. Yi Hongwen felt helpless. He could guess the whole story just by what the teacher said. The teacher knew that he would come for real, so he took the opportunity to trick Tang Jiao into guarding the gate so that he could steal some candies. But he didn't expect that he would really come tonight. Forget it, Tang Jiao is usually closely watched, and the candies here are hidden very carefully. The teacher probably won't find too much. I'll go back to Shaolin Star early tomorrow morning, said Yi Hongwen. You're in such a hurry to go back. His Hongyu was a little surprised, but he understood after thinking about it. It's almost the spring festival. Shaolin Star needs to be strengthened again, and the border defense star should also be replaced. Going back early can also grab a good position. This is the best time. Yi Hongwen did not deny the teacher's guess. His Hongyu nodded. Hongwen, your thinking is sound. I'm sure you've learned something after spending over a year here. So, what are your plans for when you return? Or do you want to return to the Black Yan Fleet? Yi Hongwen had spent 3 years there, forging many close comrades and brothers who shared life and death. It was there that his dreams were born. He thought he'd realize his ideals and ambitions, but he never imagined he'd be forced to leave because of a paratrooper. Yi Hongwen wanted to go back. He still had his good brothers there, but unfortunately, Wu De wouldn't agree. So, what are your plans now? Have you decided which fleet to join? His Hongyu believed his prized students had an idea, so he wanted to see if there was anything he could do to help. I have an idea, but it's hard to say whether it will pan out. I'll just wait and see, Yi Hongwen said, not wanting to voice his thoughts. He was old, and it was time for him to enjoy his retirement. Why bother getting involved in this mess again? You little brat, do you think your teacher is too old and incompetent? His Hongyu scolded him with a smile, but he didn't insist. Forget it, you're still quite capable, but your emotional intelligence is a little low. I just hope you can improve it now to avoid any more trouble later. Thank you for your teachings, teacher. Hongwen will keep it in mind. Yi Hongwen bowed respectfully to his Hongyu. His Hongyu accepted the greeting with a smile, but then realized something was wrong. You little brat, you didn't even know to sit down when you came, and you insisted that I invite you to sit, right? Yi Hongwen. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69 The Spring Festival Here. Just a few days into winter break, the Spring Festival quietly arrived. Why do I say quietly? Because Lin Miaomiao didn't feel any of the festive atmosphere. Aside from the students, everyone else was working as usual, and no one was out shopping for New Year's goods. On the penultimate day of February 27th, the Lin family compound was unusually bustling. With the exception of Lin Yuhu, all the family members returned home one after another. However, since there was no New Year's Eve, some members didn't return until late at night. At 6 o'clock in the morning on the 28th, everyone gathered around the dining table. There were only 8 bowls of vegetarian noodles on the table. This was the Lin family's breakfast for the day. Lin Miaomiao Yuandan asked lazily, "Is this what we're having this morning?" The noodles were filled with only a few small green vegetables and not even a speck of meat. It was so sad to see no meat. "Sister, just give up. Uncle won't give you meat. They say you can't eat meat on the morning of the Spring Festival, or you won't have any meat for the whole year." Lin Xianshan was also sad. Not only was there no meat, but Uncle's cooking skills were also terrible. The noodles were very salty, and the soup was sour. With the exception of Lin Yuquan, the family devoured the noodles like poison, a sight that left Lin Yuhei feeling rather queasy. It was hard for him to get up so early and make noodles. He'd better let his younger brother do it next year. Lin Yuhei was calculating, but he hadn't considered that waiting for Lin Yuquan to return from the army for Spring Festival was a luxury. After a difficult breakfast, everyone gathered in the living room to chat. Lin Qian, the head of the family, gave a speech. "It's been 51, and now it's 52. Time flies," the old man sighed. "Watching the children grow up day by day, my heart is filled with both joy and sadness." Lin Miaomiao listened attentively to Lin Qian's speech. The twins, squeezed to her left and right, listened impatiently. Lin Xianshan couldn't help but mutter, "Grandpa, really? He repeats the same few words every year. I'm tired of hearing them." With a click, Lin Miaomiao secretly slapped him on the back of the head and warned, "Shut up, sister, why are you like this?" Lin Xianshan felt a little hurt. "Aren't you from the same country as us? I don't believe you're not tired of hearing it." "Of course not," Lin Miaomiao replied seriously. It was her first time listening to it, so how could she be tired of it? "I just found it a little boring." "Okay," Lin Xianshan said, aggrieved. He thought his cousin had changed so much recently that she must feel the same way. He wanted his favored sister to intervene and stop Grandpa's repetitive ramblings, but he didn't expect to be warned instead. Lin Xianshan calmed down, but Lin Miaomiao was a little distracted. Today was the Spring Festival, a good day to visit relatives and friends. Should she send Teacher Yi a holiday greeting? Ever since she sent bitter melon and taro, 2 dishes that Yi Hongwen didn't like, Yi Hongwen sent her a text message the next morning, saying that she didn't need to prepare 3 meals for him anymore, without giving any reason. At first, Lin Miaomiao didn't care, thinking that he was angry because of her deliberate prank and that he would be back to normal in a few days. Who knew that it was the end of the month and there was no news from Yi Hongwen? Maybe he went home for the Spring Festival and someone cooked for him. Jinhao had heard that Yi's mother's cooking skills were also very good, even better than hers. However, Lin Miaomiao always felt that she had overlooked something, but she couldn't think of it at the moment. After struggling for a long time, she decided not to think about it. She didn't know if she would still need to be a free cook next semester. Miaomiao? Lin Miaomiao. Just as her mind wandered, Lin Miaomiao heard her name and reflexively stood up, answering, "Here." Everyone in the Lin family was like, "Is this girl crazy?" "Don't be nervous, we're not at school," Lin Qian said cheerfully, reassuring his granddaughter. "Sit down quickly." Seeing the old man's kind words, the twins howled inwardly. Why was the discrimination so obvious? If they were distracted while the old man was talking, they would probably be beaten. Lin Miaomiao was unaware of the imbalance in her 2 younger brothers' hearts, and she felt embarrassed by Lin Qian's words. She could only sit down obediently, but she didn't dare to lose her mind again. As a doting grandfather, Lin Qian, for the first time, ended his nagging early, and decided to let his granddaughter do something she was interested in and skilled at? Miaomiao, your second and third grandfathers will be coming over soon. How about you cook something delicious for lunch so that everyone can have a good time, the old man said. Okay, Lin Miaomiao agreed, thinking it would be better to go into the kitchen than to chat here, so she nodded readily. Grandpa, what do you want to eat? Lin Yin already had an idea and immediately ordered, let's have hot pot. He'd heard that his granddaughter had been the chef at the last year-end party at his eldest son's company, and she'd even come up with something new, so he had to try it today. Why hot pot again? Lin Miaomiao's eyes widened in disbelief. She'd wanted to show off her cooking skills, but the result was this unskillful dish. Because Grandpa hasn't had it yet, Lin Xianshan said with a smile. Okay, Lin Miaomiao sighed helplessly and turned to the kitchen. Fortunately, she had brought the pot back with her because she thought she'd have a long winter break and would have time to make hot pot. Hot pot wasn't really that technically demanding, but it was surprisingly popular. Lin Miaomiao began to consider opening a hot pot restaurant above the Lin family restaurant. If it became famous, it might make a lot of money. But there is no rush for this matter, let's make it when we are free. Since the Lin family likes to eat it, it is better to teach Yi and Luli to make the base soup, so that she doesn't have to do it every time. Just when she was about to call Yi to get the ingredients, Lin Miaomiao remembered that she forgot to ask how many guests were coming, so she left the kitchen again. Just as she walked to the door connecting the dining room and the living room, she heard her uncle's laughter coming from outside. Well, I didn't lie to you, did I? I told you that Miaomiao's facial paralysis was a fake, and her face changed just now. Look how big her eyes are, Lin Yuquan said with full pride. Yuquan, when did you know that girl so well? Lin Yin asked curiously, but a very relieved smile appeared on his face, as long as that girl didn't continue to be cold and indifferent. The twins were struggling. Why haven't we noticed it after living with our sister for so long? I admit defeat and pay quickly. Lin Yuquan began to urge for debt. Lin Miaomiao was embarrassed. Were these people too boring to actually bet on her? But this also made her feel relieved. She had always worried that her acting skills were not good enough, and that if she was exposed, everyone would be suspicious. But now that the fact that she was pretending to be paralyzed had been exposed, no one seemed to care much. Maybe this was not bad, Lin Miaomiao thought, and smiled secretly. Chapter 70, Yang is strong and Yin is weak. Although pleased with the outcome, being used for gambling was still unpleasant. Lin Miaomiao felt she should put a stop to this behavior and collect some interest. So, after Lin Yuquan, beaming, collected the gambling money, Lin Miaomiao drifted into the living room and whispered, Uncle, I heard everything. Caught on the act, Lin Yuquan felt like crying. Miaomiao, listen to my explanation. Explaining is covering up, Lin Miaomiao said, her expression still blank. Even if everyone knew she was faking, she had to keep up the act, it was her trademark. I didn't mean to. Seriously, Lin Yuquan said, wishing she could rip her lips off. If she had known, she wouldn't have been so anxious to collect the debt. Lin Miaomiao nodded in agreement. Uncle, you really didn't mean to. Lin Yuquan was overjoyed. As long as Miaomiao agreed with him, it would be fine. Just as he was asking for forgiveness, Lin Miaomiao added, you did it on purpose. Lin Yuquan, can't you just breathe heavily when you talk? The Lin family members who had lost money said, Miaomiao has learned bad habits. She must have learned it from Yuquan, uncle, looking at his niece's expressionless face, then glancing at the accusations on everyone's faces, Lin Yuquan collapsed. What do you want, Miaomiao? Just tell me. Lin Miaomiao was satisfied. Shouldn't she have said it earlier? Explanations were lame, weren't they? Give me half of the credits you win, Lin Miaomiao cheerfully offered. Half? Lin Yuquan was shocked. Miaomiao, you're asking so much, uncle, how can you say that? Lin Miaomiao's expression remained expressionless, but the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Without me, how could you win the money? Half is not enough, this girl was too greedy. Lin Yuquan was on the verge of tears. How easy was it for him to earn a little money? Really, it can't be any less, Lin Yuquan reiterated. Although his uncle looked pitiful and she had no shortage of pocket money, Lin Miaomiao still shook her head cruelly, wanting to teach Lin Yuquan a lesson. Lin Yuquan gave up. With trembling hands, he slowly opened the communicator and, tears welling in his eyes, transferred half of the gambling money to Lin Miaomiao. After the beeping text message, Lin Miaomiao checked. 100,000 credits had been successfully transferred to her account on February 29, 5,552. Wow, Lin Miaomiao was shocked. 100,000 credits was only half her bet. She was so glad she hadn't given up and agreed to ask for less. Having received such a large sum for no reason, Lin Miaomiao felt elated and finally remembered her purpose. Grandpa, how many guests are coming? The audience watching Lin Miaomiao and her uncle divide the spoils were speechless. So you must be here for a serious matter. Lin Yin even jokingly said, Miaomiao, Grandpa thought you were here just to share the spoils with your uncle. How could that be? I didn't know you were betting on me, Lin Miaomiao quickly clarified. She couldn't let anyone think she and her uncle were colluding to cheat. Really, the twins couldn't help but question. It's no wonder the twins didn't believe it. Having grown up with their older sister and recently living in the same villa, they assumed they knew her temper perfectly, so they made a big bet, only to suffer a heavy loss. Believe it or not, Lin Miaomiao said, unfazed by the younger twins. Turning back, she pressed her grandfather for an answer. Grandpa, hurry up and tell me. I have to go back in and get busy. Lin Yin, convinced his granddaughter had a point, quickly replied, your second grandfather's. Ding dong, ding dong. The crisp ring of the doorbell suddenly interrupted Lin Yin, who decided he didn't need to give his granddaughter an answer. Yi darted from the kitchen and headed straight for the front door, quickly disappearing at the gate. Shortly after, several cars slowly sped across the yard, heading towards the living room. They parked safely outside the living room, and a large group of people, perhaps 30 or 40 in number, got out. Catching sight of Yi running back, Lin Miaomiao was torn. Lin Yin thought his granddaughter was just too tired to cook for so many people, so he tried to comfort her, but then he heard Lin Miaomiao ask seriously, Grandpa, why does Yi have to go open the gate himself? Isn't there a remote control in the living room? Lin Yin was speechless. He didn't know the answer to this question, but the point now was not this at all. Except for the old man, everyone in the Lin family had already stood up and headed for the door. Lin Miaomiao hurriedly followed them, not caring about her previous confusion. Second uncle, third uncle, eldest cousin, second cousin, little cousin, second grandpa, second grandma. After a chaotic recognition of relatives, everyone gathered around the old people and entered the living room. When they saw Lin Yin sitting upright, there was another round of chaos. Lin Miaomiao suddenly felt a headache. It turned out that having too many relatives was also a troublesome thing. Fortunately, there were so many people and chaos just now, so she followed the twins and shouted for people, and finally got away with it. After exchanging greetings, the grandfathers took over the living room sofa, chatting casually. Lin Yuhei led a long line of cousins to the study to catch up. Ranjizhan entertained his sister-in-law and the younger children, while the grandchildren over 10 years old met in the training room for practice. As for Lin Miaomiao, the only girl in the Lin family, she could only run back to the kitchen, feeling dejected. At this point, Lin Miaomiao was actually glad that her grandfather wanted to eat hot pot. Otherwise, how many dishes would have to be cooked to feed so many mouths? Thinking of the dozen or so uncles, Lin Miaomiao concluded that her second and third grandfathers were really too fertile. With so many people, the cold storage was running low on ingredients. Lin Miaomiao took a quick look at what was left and decided to make the soup base first and then go shopping on Star Network. After ransacking the cold storage, Lin Miaomiao instructed Yi and Luli to clean the existing ingredients while she prepared a few pounds of pork ribs and a chicken and started making the soup. After instructing Yi to lower the heat and simmer the soup once it was boiling, Lin Miaomiao headed back to her room and checked the Star Network to get it. This time, Lin Miaomiao was buying some meat she hadn't tried before. She'd been here for 6 months, and she hadn't tried many of the exotic beast meats with strange names, so today she was ready to give it a try. While the names of these beasts were a bit awkward to pronounce, she heard they tasted delicious, so she bought 20 pounds of each. Having just earned a large sum of credit, Lin Miaomiao was quite generous. There were still some fruits and vegetables at home, but since the diners were all young, strong men with a love of meat, Lin Miaomiao didn't plan to serve too many vegetables. She also bought 2 boxes of herbal tea to go with a hot pot, but she didn't need any wine. Perhaps because of their powerful bloodline, most of the Lin family members were mecha pilots, and none of them could drink alcohol. After completing her shopping, Lin Miaomiao happily went downstairs to the kitchen, only to run into her unruly teacher and cousin, Lin Jingtao. Chapter 71 Chaos. Dear sister, I haven't seen you for a few days. Have you missed me? Your teacher, Lin Jingtao teased. Lin Miaomiao rolled her eyes. This guy is crazy. He calls her sister but calls himself a teacher. He simply asks for a beating. Please move aside. I have things to do. I don't have time to chat with you, my cousin, Lin Miaomiao asked without any courtesy. Tisk, it's still that expressionless face. You keep saying that you're back to normal. Lin Jingtao moved away regretfully. Lin, Tian. It turned out that this guy was spreading rumors. Lin Miaomiao decided to settle the score with this brother later. What my cousin said is not true. I have always been normal, Lin Miaomiao retorted. She didn't intend to pay attention to this boring guy and walked downstairs. Lin Jingtao was just teasing his little cousin, so he didn't stop him. He just smiled when they passed by each other and said, actually, I think Miaomiao is a little different too. Lin Miaomiao's body stiffened. Could he really see something? Thankfully, Lin Jingtao didn't keep her in suspense and quickly gave the reason. Miaomiao hasn't been interested in studying this semester. She only got a 67 on the exam. Exam? Lin Miaomiao's face fell. She felt like she'd overlooked something these past few days. The results should have been out by now, but she'd forgotten to check the school network. At Malulin Military Academy, every exam result was posted directly on the school network. This made it convenient for students to check and also encourage them to strive for excellence. After all, it would be embarrassing to post such a poor grade, wouldn't it? Although Lin Miaomiao hadn't checked her results, she wasn't worried. At worst, she'd just failed advanced math, but there was a makeup exam she'd been studying for advanced math these past few days, so even if she had to make up before school started, she should be able to pass. She calmly returned to the kitchen. The hot pot broth was already simmering, and Yi and Luli had already washed, cut, and plated the remaining ingredients, waiting for the rest to arrive. Remembering her one-year-old cousin, Lin Miaomiao prepared a few eggs to make egg custard. These weren't chicken eggs, but rather large merganser eggs. 15 minutes later, a smart delivery robot arrived with Lin Miaomiao's purchases. Lin Miaomiao flipped through the ingredients and found the exotic meat to be quite ordinary, perhaps because it was beautifully prepared. After handing the meat to the two robots, Lin Miaomiao began to think about what else to make. She didn't want to overwork herself, as she needed to serve several tables for so many people. She ended up making fries, sweet potato balls, and burritos. All three were delicious and delightful, delighting everyone. Smells so good. Sister Miaomiao, what are you cooking? The children peeked in from outside the kitchen, afraid to come in because of their sister's stern face. Lin Miaomiao was startled. Hadn't they all gone upstairs with second aunt to play? Why were they all in the small kitchen? Because their older sister hadn't replied for a long time, the children hesitated, yet they were reluctant to leave. They'd heard from their eldest cousin that their older cousin was making something delicious they'd never tasted before. Seeing her younger brother's greedy expressions, Lin Miaomiao took out plates, filled each with a few snacks, and handed them over, saying, "Eat a little bit first, or you won't be able to finish your meal later." The children cheered and left, clutching their plates. Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but shake her head and laugh. The allure of good food was endless, and the sight of her cousins, visibly afraid yet reluctant to leave, was adorable. At noon, Yi and Luli set aside the long dining table, laid out the snacks and prepared ingredients, and found 5 large round tables for the dining room. Dinner began promptly at the Lin family's house. 40 or 50 people filled the dining room, making the once large space seem cramped. Lin Miaomiao finally understood why the Lin family's old house had such a large dining room. After explaining how to eat hot pot, and putting the packaged snacks directly on the round table, Lin Miaomiao breathed a sigh of relief. Today's task was considered complete. "Miaomiao, come here and eat," Lin Jingtao called his cousin enthusiastically. Lin Miaomiao took a look and saw that the table was full of older cousins, all of whom were strong and healthy. There was no way she, a bean sprout, could grab them. It would be better to go to the table of the younger cousins. After making up her mind, Lin Miaomiao ran to squeeze in with her cousins, chose the dishes and put them in the pot, and just waited for the dishes to be cooked. Wow! The loud cry of a child suddenly rang out in the bustling restaurant. Lin Miaomiao looked in the direction of the sound and saw the youngest cousin stretching out his little hand towards the steaming hot pot, and the aunt who was ranked unknown was coaxing him softly. "Zizi, is the child hungry?" Ranjizhan asked with concern. "That's right. The child refused to drink milk this morning. Now he knows he's hungry, right?" Wu Zhi smiled and stood up. "You guys eat first. I'll go make him some milk powder." Lin Miaomiao blinked. She had actually forgotten about the steamed egg she had already prepared. Her little cousin couldn't eat food cooked in the hot pot. She quickly stood up and said, "Auntie, wait a minute. I made egg custard for my cousin and forgot to take it out." "Egg custard?" Wu Zhi was puzzled. "What was that?" "A custard made from eggs." Yi and Luli were sent to the living room. Lin Miaomiao had to go to the kitchen and bring out the egg custard herself and put it on Wu Zhi's table. Wu Zhi scooped a spoonful and tasted it. His eyes lit up immediately. "This egg custard is pretty good." He then filled a bowl with confidence and started feeding his son. Most of the people sitting at the table were female elders with small children. Upon hearing this, they filled bowls for their own sons. The cousins at Lin Miaomiao's table also looked over eagerly. There was plenty of egg custard, but if these kids, all around 10, started eating, there wouldn't be enough for the babies. Lin Miaomiao deliberately called out to attract their attention, "The meat's done. If you don't want to eat, I'll eat first." The kids, alerted, looked into the pot. They saw the bone broth bubbling with slices of meat, and they eagerly reached for their chopsticks. After a scramble, Lin Miaomiao watched the meat quickly disappear, leaving only a few green leaves. Having failed to grab any meat, Lin Miaomiao wanted to flip the table again. This is too much. How could she not even win against these little brats? The meat kept being added to the pot, and the kids' fight grew more intense. If Lin Miaomiao hadn't stopped them, they would have tried to remove the meat the moment it was in the pot. After the meal, Lin Miaomiao was exhausted, but her stomach wasn't even half full. She ran over to the long table and saw that, aside from a few green vegetables, tofu, and radish, the hundreds of pounds of meatballs and slices were gone. Even the mung bean vermicelli had been devoured. What a bunch of foodies. Lin Miaomiao angrily took a plate of radishes and vegetables back to the table. The kids had already scooped up the egg custard the babies couldn't finish and ran off, leaving a mess on the table. Looking back at the living room, a bunch of overfed children were jumping around, and the babies were content to join in the fun. It was a scene of chaos. Thinking about having to visit her second and third uncle's homes the next 2 days, Lin Miaomiao felt like crying. Chapter 72 2 years. "Miaomiao, how about we go to the virtual network for training after class today?" Liu Kaoyer said with a smile. "Sure, I don't have anything to do anyway." Lin Miaomiao continued to solve the calculus problems without looking up. Lin Jingtao, who was full of evil intentions, only knew how to make people do endless exercises in class. Why work so hard? Teacher Lin won't check the homework anyway. Liu Kaoyer looked at Lin Miaomiao's hard work with some disapproval. Lin Miaomiao paused at this, looked up and rolled her eyes at Liu Kaoyer expressionlessly. "Just because he doesn't check yours doesn't mean he won't check mine." After the final exams of the first semester of her sophomore year, Lin Jingtao shamelessly complained to Lin Yuhei. Although her father, who loved his daughter, didn't think there was anything wrong with her poor calculus score, he still agreed to let Lin Jingtao teach her strictly. As a result, Lin Miaomiao had been in dire straits for the past 2 years. Fortunately, she was almost done with the knowledge she needed to learn, and her physical and mental strength had improved significantly. "It's the last semester," Lin Miaomiao sighed. "Finally, the hard work will end and the good times will come." "Yes, it's the last semester, and the free life is about to end." Liu Kaoyer also sighed with emotion. "Puchy," Fang Licken couldn't help laughing. "You two are sighing, but the meanings you want to express are worlds apart. One thinks the good days are about to begin, and the other thinks the good days are over." "This is a reflection of the difference in ideological awareness between her and me," Lin Miaomiao answered with a blank face. Liu Kaoyer was embarrassed and angry. "If you can still cry about comfort after joining the army, I will unconditionally admit defeat." Yu Zixin, who was sitting not far away, interrupted impatiently. "I say, are you guys annoying? You don't listen carefully in class, and what are you doing here complaining? If you find it annoying, don't sit here." The three replied in unison. "Didn't Zuchen reserve a seat for you?" Yu Zixin's face changed instantly. "If you mention him again, I will end our friendship." Lin Miaomiao and the other two looked at each other and tacitly shut up. 2 years, not long, not short either, was a time that saw a lot of things happen to Lin Miaomiao. After the final exams of the first semester of her sophomore year, Yi Hongwen resigned. Some classmates felt guilty, while others blamed Lin Miaomiao, believing that Lin Miaomiao had instigated the students to do poorly on the exams, forcing teacher Yi to leave. Fortunately, the new homeroom teacher, Jin Hao, was also an acquaintance and had vaguely revealed some information about Yi Hongwen to the students. It was said that he had wanted to resign for a long time, and the students' grades had given him a good excuse. After learning the real reason for Yi Hongwen's departure, the students who had been angry with Lin Miaomiao felt embarrassed and gradually became closer to her, with their relationship now quite good. Lin Miaomiao has made great progress in the past 2 years. Although she still has a dull face, she has made many good friends, not to mention Liu Kaoye and Feng Liken, but even Yu Zixin and Zhu Chen have become good friends with her. Unfortunately, ever since Lin Miaomiao exposed Zhu Chen's feelings, Yu Zixin has become awkward around him, and their relationship has reversed. Previously, Yu Zixin would chase Zhu Chen, but now Zhu Chen would quietly accompany him. As the head of the Mecha department class of 1950, Zhu Chen's abilities were unquestionable, and Yu Zixin was unlucky. All those men and women who had ambitions for him were kept at a distance by Zhu Chen. After class, Zhu Chen approached, and Yu Zixin suddenly jumped up and tried to run, but Lin Miaomiao grabbed him. "Miaomiao, what are you doing?" Yu Zixin exclaimed angrily. "Are you trying to take that guy's side?" "There's something I forgot to ask you," Lin Miaomiao said, looking at him innocently. Yu Zixin was skeptical, but his expression softened. "We'll talk next time. Just let me go." This time, Lin Miaomiao obediently let go, but it was too late for Yu Zixin to leave. Miaomiao, Kaoye, Liken, Zhu Chen greeted him gently, then turned to look at Yu Zixin. "Are you still angry?" Yu Zixin snorted, very arrogantly. "Go away, I don't know you well, I don't have time to care about you." Zhu Chen shook his head helplessly. You are still so childish. What will you do if you join the army?" "Don't give me that, I have good relationships with people and I have skills. I will still be successful in the army." Yu Zixin walked out with his head held high. "Just stay away from me, that's enough." Zhu Chen didn't follow him this time, but just stood there quietly and watched him leave. The smile on his face had long disappeared. Liu Kaoye touched Lin Miaomiao and asked curiously, "Why did he offend Yu Zixin again?" "I don't know." Lin Miaomiao casually threw the textbook into the space button. "Maybe he blocked some romantic opportunities again." Liu Kaoye. "Let's go. Go to the virtual network login room. It's too late and there will be no private rooms," Feng Liken urged. The three packed up and prepared to leave. As they passed Zhu Chen, they kindly asked, "Would you like to join us?" Zhu Chen naturally declined, unwilling to spend any longer with this group of women, lest they be attacked. When they arrived at the virtual network login room, there were only a few private rooms left. A few people paid 100 credits for 4 hours of use. The school's virtual network time could actually be exchanged for mission points, earned by completing missions in the mission hall. These missions were simple, mostly just something students could do during their free time while training, like delivering letters, hunting exotic beasts, or escorting items. Lin Miaomiao and the other two had also trained together in the ancient mountain area, where exotic beasts reside, over the past 2 years. They had earned some points, but Lin Miaomiao was too squeamish to log in from the hall, always opting for a private room. Private rooms were mostly reserved for students from well-off families, so the school unceremoniously charged credits. Entering the private room, they discovered that unlike the hallway, where they logged in via helmet and lying on a bed, they used a landing capsule. However, the school's landing capsule was unlike the Star Domain capsule. It was a unique, large crystal sphere. Lin Miaomiao watched Liu Kaoye, who had gone in first, as she stood barefoot, her legs slightly spread, suspended in the center of the crystal sphere. Her hands were stretched out in front of her, her eyes tightly closed. She looked exhausted. And she was indeed exhausted. Every time she emerged from the virtual network, Lin Miaomiao felt backache, leg cramps. And her hands were a bit unresponsive. It was hard to tell who had designed such a shady landing capsule, yet the school even boasted that exercising in it might yield unexpected surprises. However, precisely because of this uncertain news, the private rooms in the virtual network login room were always in high demand. Business was so brisk that even in the afternoon, it was practically impossible to get a room. Chapter 73 Rogue Girls Group. Shoeless and stepping barefoot into the virtual cabin, Lin Miaomiao felt her hands involuntarily rise forward. The next moment, her vision went dark, and when it returned, she was already at the login point. Liu Kaoyer and the other two women had already arrived. Seeing Lin Miaomiao's appearance, one of them grabbed her arm and dragged her to the teleportation window. Lin Miaomiao didn't struggle or protest, she was used to it anyway. You're always so slow to log into the virtual network, and you don't know how to be more self-disciplined. No wonder everyone calls you crazy now, Liu Kaoyer muttered unhappily. You can't blame me for that, Lin Miaomiao retorted habitually. It's all because of that idiot Yu Zixin who made up these random nicknames. Even though they had those messy prefixes before, at least she was still called the goddess. Now it's even worse. Sooner or later, I'll put him in the sack. If you have the guts, do it now, Liu Kaoyer rolled her eyes. You're just talking nonsense, Lin Miaomiao said calmly, her expressionless face expressionless. It's all because of that guy's lucky. The chief is protecting him so well. He won't even get the chance to put him in the sack, after being teleported to the mecha battle hall and about to go to the warehouse to retrieve the mecha. Someone nearby shouted, the rogue girls are here again. The students who were exchanging experiences in the hall were suddenly shocked. Quick, go back to your rooms and close the doors. Don't let them in, Lin Miaomiao and the other two, are they so scary? However, only a few people had received the news after all. Lin Miaomiao and the other two still boarded the mecha and found a crowded room to enter. Upon entering, Lin Miaomiao's eyes lit up. The room wasn't a one-on-one mech duel, but a free-for-all. So what were they waiting for? Lin Miaomiao immediately joined the fray, brandishing her titanium blade. Lin Miaomiao first located a mech engaged in a fierce battle and stabbed its pod from behind. However, the mech was no novice, dodging and counterattacking with a sword. Lin Miaomiao paid no mind, commanding her mech to roll on the ground, slashing at the limbs of all the mechas around her as she did so. Some mech pilots, caught off guard by the frenzy, had their limbs severed. Not only were they instantly shortened, but they also struggled to move. The more agile ones took flight, while the less shrewd were instantly eliminated. Of course, even those mech pilots who took to the air weren't guaranteed to survive, as Liu Kaoyer and Feng Liqin were waiting for them from above. The ruse worked, and several mechas were quickly evacuated from the room. Those who had entered wouldn't be able to seek revenge for half an hour. Lin Miaomiao smirked, but didn't get up, continuing her rolling attack. As the room dwindled, someone finally noticed something was amiss and called out on the public channel, Lin Miaomiao and the others are here. Everyone, be safe. Get in formation, you're so slow, Liu Kaoyer said with a silvery laugh. 36 have already been cleared out, why is that? No wonder the room feels so much bigger, everyone grumbled, crowding into the corners. Several mechas soared into the air for a standoff, while those in the front row crouched down, ready for battle. It looked like the rolling technique wouldn't work anymore, and Lin Miaomiao, feeling rather disappointed, could only slowly stand up. Liu Kaoyer and the others didn't come down, either, remaining in the air above Lin Miaomiao's back. Chicken knife, keep up the good work today, Lin Miaomiao muttered, commanding the mech to sheath its massive titanium blade and instead unleash two kitchen knives, 1 meter long and half a meter wide. The mech Lin Miaomiao was currently using wasn't the entry-level mech Xiaoya, but a level 3 mech named Chicken Knife lovingly provided by a junior student in the armoring department. Of course, the rather unrefined name Chicken Knife wasn't Lin Miaomiao's, but rather the work of the junior armorer. The junior student's idea was, Senior, you're both a mech engineer and a chef. Your mech needs to be unique, and it needs a name that's both powerful and striking, so, the junior student, after 2 months of seclusion, successfully crafted a level 3 mech, the Pig Knife, which could be wielded with 2 hands. Thanks to widespread publicity, the reputation of the Pig Knife spread throughout the Milan Military Academy, contributing to Lin Miaomiao's nickname, Woman Crazy. After all, even the most insane female mech engineer couldn't accept a mech wielding kitchen knives. The battle was already underway, and Lin Miaomiao, unafraid of an opponent 10 times their number, commanded a butcher knife with a light leap, stomping on the heads of the crouching mechas one by one. 2 kitchen knives slashed down fiercely, and the trampled mechas panicked and jumped back, only to knock down their newly formed allies, throwing the orderly formation into chaos. Almost at the same time, Liu Kaoyu and Feng Liken flew over. The mechas on alert in the air immediately surrounded them, and they pounced on them from all sides like hungry tigers on sheep. Knowing they were no match for them, the two men plummeted to the ground. Taking advantage of the chaos on Lin Miaomiao's side, they rolled over and attacked the mecha's lower limbs. In the group chat the three had established, Lin Miaomiao suddenly cursed, "Oh my god. Are you two planning to take me down too?" It turned out that Liu Kaoyu was so focused on attacking her opponent's lower body that she didn't even notice Lin Miaomiao mingling among them, and attacked with a butcher knife. Fortunately, the butcher knife was made of strong material, and Lin Miaomiao's reaction was quick, so she escaped. "I didn't mean to do it," Liu Kaoyu said with a hint of guilt. Whether it was intentional or not was no longer important. Surrounded by dozens of people, Lin Miaomiao had no time to dwell on such trivial matters. Fortunately, Liu Kaoyu and her companions were still powerful. Before the enemy could regroup, Lin Miaomiao had taken the opportunity to destroy several mechapods. When they faced off again, Lin Miaomiao and her 3 mechas were intact, while the enemy had lost 5 or 6 more members. The enemy seemed to have learned their lesson, realizing that they were too crowded to move, and they dispersed slightly, gradually spreading out in a fan-shaped formation. Feng Liken asked, somewhat puzzled, why give them time to set up their formation instead of seizing the opportunity to attack? 3 against many, is there still a need for gentlemanly demeanor? Besides, their fighting style was anything but gentlemanly. Lin Miaomiao and Liu Kaoyu were both stunned. Liu Kaoyu couldn't help but whine, "I actually forgot that." "Alright, stop wailing," Lin Miaomiao said, a little embarrassed. "Let's figure out how to fight next." Lin Miaomiao believed that having more people wasn't always an advantage, especially for a newly assembled team with a divided team and no commanding officer. They were like loose sand. Liu Kaoyu thought for a moment and spoke first, "I fought that red mech in the middle of the first row. I feel he's not very agile. Why don't we attack him first?" "Alright," Lin Miaomiao and Feng Liken responded. They instantly charged, one aiming for the head and the other for the legs. Liu Kaoyu was a step too slow, and as the red mech dodged her attack, she somersaulted behind it and thrust her sword forward. Chapter 74, Fishing in Troubled Waters. The red mech wasn't expecting the 3 to unite and attack him, and before he could even fight back, he was eliminated. Lin Miaomiao and the other 2 landed ahead and retreated swiftly, landing in a triangle formation. "They're on the guard," Liu Kaoyu said, annoyed. "Just now I was thinking of sneaking up on the guy behind us. If this keeps up, we'll be eliminated," Lin Miaomiao said. "Now we just hope the melee starts soon so we can take advantage of the situation." "What are you thinking? They'll team up if they meet us now. There's no way they'll engage in a melee," Feng Liken said, dismissing her hopes. As they spoke, the opposing mechas couldn't wait to attack. They'd also learned the art of fighting against us, with several mechas attacking in unison, attempting to block Lin Miaomiao and the other 2's retreat. Liu Kaoyu awkwardly dodged a wave of attacks and angrily clicked in the public channel. "You're so shameless. You're bullying the weak with your numbers." The people in the channel, who were clamoring to retaliate, were stunned. Even after being eliminated, it seemed they still had more men than the enemy. Some began to feel guilty and considered withdrawing, or even going to help Lin Miaomiao and the other 2. Just then, a deep, melodious male voice reached everyone's ears. "Fighting isn't fair on the battlefield. It's common sense to outnumber the weak, but true skill lies in defeating the many with a few. Besides, if we demand a one-on-one fight with you, do you agree?" "Of course not," Lin Miaomiao replied flatly. The answer to this question didn't even require careful consideration. They outnumbered them, and a one-on-one fight would mean a relentless battle. "Then continue the fight," the man said simply. War was imminent. Lin Miaomiao and the other 2 had been separated by the crowd, now left to fight alone. Facing numerous attacks, they could only evade awkwardly, but 2 fists were no match for 4. The butcher knife's fuselage had been slashed numerous times, and its left arm had been severed. "It's over," Liu Kaoyu sighed. "We're going to fall like a meteor. You'll pay for what you've done," Feng Liken said darkly. Lin Miaomiao, knowing the other 2 couldn't see, couldn't help but roll her eyes. "We haven't even reached the final stage yet, so why are you already discouraged? That's not the right mindset. Confidence is good, but saying you haven't reached the final stage when you're practically dead is sheer arrogance," Liu Kaoyu said, speechless. However, Just as Liu Kaoyu finished speaking, something unexpected happened. A black mech suddenly took advantage of the allies' unpreparedness and blew up the pods of 4 mechas. Everyone was stunned, momentarily forgetting to pursue Lin Miaomiao and the other 2. Lin Miaomiao smiled slightly, seizing the opportunity to take down 2 more. Liu Kaoyu and Feng Liqin, well versed in exploiting the situation, immediately imitated Lin Miaomiao's moves, eliminating several more in quick succession. Suddenly, nearly half the mechas in the field were gone. Fuck. What's going on? A chorus of curses echoed over the public channel. The newly formed alliance was already fragile, and now that someone had betrayed them, everyone was on high alert, and the scene suddenly became chaotic. Lin Miaomiao and the other 2 were delighted by the scene. Now it was their turn to show off their skills. Lin Miaomiao directed the butcher knife, weaving through a dozen mechas. She didn't strike at their vital points, but instead slashed them with a single blow as she passed by. The butcher knife's small size and inherent agility made it difficult for everyone to deal with it. Some mechas attacked too quickly, often targeting even weaker allies. Someone erupted in anger. What's the point of forming an alliance? Let's just have a free-for-all and see who wins. The real melee finally arrived, and Lin Miaomiao and the other 2 breathed a sigh of relief. Now, as long as they didn't use the rolling strategy, they were confident no one would be watching them. Relaxed, the curious Liu Kaoyu couldn't help but speak up in the group chat. Miaomiao, tell me the truth. When did you turn the other team against them? Feng Liqin didn't ask, but she pricked up her ears as she fought. Lin Miaomiao, who was busy hacking at someone, pretended not to hear. In her heart, she kept complaining about her 2 friends' inattention. The battle was still going on, and they were gossiping. How unprofessional. Liu Kaoyu was very unhappy when she didn't get an answer. She wanted to ask again, but then she remembered that someone, who was obviously young, always liked to catch their little mistakes and lecture them in a strict manner, so she backed off. Liu Kaoyu was firing on all cylinders, ready to take it out on others, but a 4th voice suddenly appeared in the group channel. Miaomiao won't answer, a deep and pleasant male voice chuckled. If you want to know the reason, you might as well ask me. You, how did you get in? Liu Kaoyu stuttered because she was too surprised. Of course it was Miaomiao who put it there. What, Kaoyu, don't you like to see me? The low voice seemed to rise a few degrees, with a hint of emotion. Don't yell, we're not familiar, Liu Kaoyu raged, then thought better of it. I don't even know you, the man chuckled playfully. Are you sure? Lin Miaomiao couldn't bear it any longer. Alright, Jin Hao, you're so shameless. You even come to the students' training grounds and bully the weak. You should call me Teacher Jin, Jin Hao corrected him. What? He's Teacher Jin, Liu Kaoyu and Feng Liqin screamed. Jin Hao sighed. You know why I'm so excited? With that sigh, Jin Hao dropped his pretense, summoned his laser gun, cleared out everyone he didn't recognize, and then kicked the door shut. Liu Kaoyu envious. If only we had laser guns too. The mechas provided for students to practice with were only equipped with cold weapons, not firearms. Students who wanted to practice with firearms could only go to the Mecha Club or go to the Star Network. The hatch of the black mech opened. Jin Hao, sitting nonchalantly in the driver's seat, said with a smile, "Open the hatches, or we'll clear you all out." Liu Kaoyu and Feng Liqin had calmed down by now. The 3 of them silently opened the hatch of the mech without getting out of the mech, just curiously looking at Jin Hao, wanting to know his purpose. Jin Hao didn't intend to keep it a secret. As you know, there aren't many classes left. Representatives from each corps will be visiting the school soon. There will be a selection competition, and outstanding graduates will have the opportunity to choose their own fleet, and then, Liu Kaoyu asked. Then I'm poaching for someone, Jin Hao said, a little embarrassed. The fleet he was introducing wasn't outstanding, and many people even considered it shabby. Just tell me which fleet it is, Lin Miaomiao said impatiently. She hated beating around the bush. Liu Kaoyu and Feng Liqin echoed, being straightforward is better. Since everyone insisted, Jin Hao had no choice but to comply. It's the Central Core Shenyu Fleet. Chapter 75, Sunken Moon Fleet. Shenyu Fleet, Lin Miaomiao and the other 2 repeated in unison, feeling they might be hallucinating. The Central Army was indeed prestigious, and countless graduates scrambled to join its fleet every year, but the Shenyu Fleet was an exception. Teacher Jin, are you kidding me? The 3 of us were among the best in the elite class, and you're introducing us to this lousy fleet, Liu Kaoyu huffed, feeling slighted. Feng Liken's expression wasn't great either. The Shenyu fleet was a well-known name in the Federation, but despite its central army name, it could only mop up battlefields. Lin Miaomiao wasn't so repulsive. Her eldest brother was a member of the Shenyu fleet, and he'd been video chatting her whenever he had time for the past 2 years, presumably to keep in touch, but he'd always been telling her all the funny things that had happened in the Shenyu fleet. Like what kind of shady dish had been cooked in the cafeteria today, how someone had gotten into a fight and landed in the dirt during training, and how they had a new, promising young captain. Lin Xianhao always praises the new captain in front of his sister about how great he is, how imposing he is, and how he can predict the future. After hearing so much, Lin Miaomiao feels that he is indeed a powerful figure and wants to get to know him. However, why did Jinhao come here specifically to poach people for the Shenyu fleet? Jinhao looked at Liu Kaier, who was still chattering and condemning him, with some distress. This student's mouth was too sharp. He didn't even have the chance to speak. In the end, Jinhao turned his gaze to Lin Miaomiao for help. Fortunately, Lin Miaomiao gave him face. Kaier, shut up. Lin Miaomiao looked at her expressionlessly. You are so noisy, it gives me a headache. Liu Kaier shut up aggrievedly. Is there any friend like this? Not only did he not help to denounce teacher Jin, but he even complained about her being noisy. Feng Liken quickly comforted her. Kaier, teacher Jin is our class teacher after all. He wouldn't let us go to Shenai without a special reason. Okay, Liu Kaier looked at Jinhao reluctantly, then I'll give you a chance to explain. Jinhao breathed a sigh of relief and hurriedly explained, the Shenyu fleet was originally one of the ace fleets of this central core, but one captain allowed his cronies to form cliques and fight for power, which led to the demoralization of the fleet. Later, the Fifth Interstellar War broke out, and the Shenyu fleet was sent to the Border Star, but it suffered a crushing defeat due to improper command by the commander. I know this, Feng Liken suddenly interrupted. It was not just a crushing defeat, it should be said that the entire army was almost wiped out. That's right, Jinhao nodded in agreement. Is it because of this that the Shenyu fleet fell? Liu Kaier asked. Actually, there's more to it than that. Jinhao's face darkened. There's an open secret among the Central Army's high command. Even if the sunken moon fleet had suffered a crushing defeat, there would always be someone willing to restore its former glory. But the problem was that the commander was captured after the devastating defeat, and even after failing to withstand the Empire's sweet talk, he defected. With such a commander, the sunken moon fleet's brilliance was completely discredited. Even if subsequent commanders were sent, they were either incompetent and unable to restore the sunken moon's reputation, or unwilling to remain with the fleet, ultimately reducing it to battlefield scavengers. The Shenyu fleet is in such a bad state, Liu Kaier sighed. But even so, I don't want to be a battlefield scavenger there. I don't think teacher Jin wants us to be scavengers. Lin Miaomiao disagreed. I heard the Shenyu fleet got a capable captain last year. How did you know? Jinhao was surprised. This news hadn't been made public yet. Did Grandpa Lin tell me? No, it was my eldest brother. He's also in the Shenyu fleet. He always tells me how amazing their new captain is and how great their fleet is, Lin Miaomiao replied. Grandpa rarely came home, and even then he rarely mentioned military matters. Jinhao was silent for a moment, his expression suddenly becoming strange. Do you know their captain's name? My eldest brother didn't tell me, Lin Miaomiao said casually. Is there something special about their captain? Not really. It's just that you guys know the new Shenyu captain, Jinhao replied. They knew him too? Lin Miaomiao and the other two exchanged surprised glances. Could there be something they'd overlooked? Wait, Lin Miaomiao's heart suddenly skipped a beat. A possibility occurred to her. Shen Yu had taken over as captain a year ago, and Yi Hongwen had resigned 2 years ago, reportedly returning to his proper place. If what she had heard that time was true, then Yi Hongwen had returned to the central core. Could it be? Looking at Jinhao's slightly smug expression, Lin Miaomiao couldn't help but whisper, is it Yi Hongwen? You actually guessed that? Jinhao stared at Lin Miaomiao in disbelief, then smiled again. You and he are really close. You even guessed that. Wasn't it that Miaomiao had a crush on teacher Yi, and teacher Yi hated Miaomiao? What was going on now? Liu Kaier and Feng Liken were both bewildered. Lin Miaomiao, however, shrugged. That bastard is so annoying. He didn't even say he was leaving. Who would be close to him? She hated Yi Hongwen so much that she wished she'd never see him again. Liu Kaoye rolled her eyes at her. Just pretend, alright, Fang Licken said slowly. Since you hate Teacher Yu so much, then we don't have to worry about whether or not to go to the Shenai fleet. Yeah, just refuse, Liu Kaoye said with a smile. Lin Miaomiao couldn't keep her expression down any longer, and her face darkened. If you don't want to go, then don't go. I have something to log off. Without waiting for anyone to react, she logged out of the virtual network. Leaving the landing capsule, Lin Miaomiao pursed her lips and walked out. She was feeling a bit confused and didn't want to talk for the moment, so she didn't wait for Kaoye and the others. Lin Miaomiao was gloomy. She hadn't expected the new captain her eldest brother was talking about would be Yi Hongwen. If she had known earlier, it wouldn't have made a difference. Reclining in the soft seat of the flying car, Lin Miaomiao felt like a deflated ball, completely limp. She hadn't interacted much outside of class, and the man was clearly unpleasant, and he used her as a free cook, so why couldn't she let him go? Could it be that the lingering emotions of the original owner were still affecting her? Never mind. The trials hadn't even started yet, and she didn't know if she'd even have the chance to choose her own fleet. I heard there were only 100 or so spots available each year. If she had time to daydream, she might as well go online and play a few more games. She wasn't as comfortable with firearms as she was with cold weapons. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.